than sports, is there? There's just nothing better. God. Sports and rock and roll.
And that's why it's only Wednesday.
That's right.
I got to make it to Friday evening. I got to get to the Georgia Tech Colorado kickoff. That's number one on the list. And my credit to my wife. She made it a point when we were looking to sign our daughters up for a couple of extra, volleyball workouts over the weekend. We looked at Saturday and we saw a couple that were listed as far as available, and she goes, "Oh, we can't do that."
Yeah.
She's like, we're not going over to some volleyball facility.
Not
during
Texas, Ohio State.
So now I'm signed up for Sunday at 8:30 in the morning because that's like the safest one possible on a holiday weekend. I was like, I would much sooner do that than even if you told me Saturday morning, like, hey, it's a 10 o'clock, 10:30. I'm like, I'm missing portions of game day.
No, right, absolutely.
I won't even miss a kickoff, but I'll miss a portion of game day, and I don't want to do that.
No, that's right, man. It's going to be so much fun. What games are you so excited to see? Which games do you think are going to be blowouts? I think I keep reading that Texas is going to wax the floor with Ohio State. And then I do believe Georgia Tech walks all over Colorado. So
I don't know about all that. Ohio State's at home, and they're a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I just keep seeing it. It keeps popping up.
Those hotels are big for a reason.
Yes, right.
In fact,
the ones in Vegas, yeah.
As somebody who's grown up watching as much Texas football as I did, because it was 45 minutes north of us. We head up I-35, head into Austin, go watch games. Texas will lay an egg on you in these sort of games. Even with the highest paid roster in college football this year, the number looks like it's about 14 to 15 million. The highest paid roster last year was Ohio State. Surprise, surprise, they win the national championship. Now you've got Texas as that particular roster, and so we will see.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's what's fun about it.
The only bummer these days, and I thought I was going to dislike it more, but it's worked out fine. It used to be that if you played your rival, and it was like a September-October game, and you beat them, you're like, your season's over, ha!
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. In fact, Texas, Ohio State, the one goal is whoever loses knows we can lose one more. Can't lose two more. Nobody's made it into this thing with 3 losses. 2 losses, you can.
That's right, yeah. And anytime you have a brand like Texas, though, it puts a different spotlight on the game. As much as Ohio State is just football royalty, they don't have the star that's as bright as Texas. Texas is the brightest star in all of college football when they're good.
Well, they've got Arch Manning, so they've got the name that everyone wants to follow and see what he looks like as a quarterback, as now the starter. And so you are looking at Ohio State where they probably have the best offensive player in the country and the best defensive player in the country on one team. Now, we'll see what it means when you play Texas. It probably has the best roster in the country. And it certainly, then when you look at a team like Georgia and you go, hey, just so y'all know, y'all aren't the favorite to win the SEC this year. They are. It's like, okay, there's a little chip on the shoulder.
Absolutely. That's what you want. Yeah. That's what you need for your team. That's what you need for your kids, especially in football.
Kirby Smart talks about it all the time, about being the hunter and the hunted.
Yes, that's
He's
right.
like, we like it both, but
absolutely
the hunter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I love the fact that Kirby is such a motivator. I love the fact that he is able to put that chip on kids' shoulders. He says, don't come to Georgia. Unless you want to be coached up, you want to be coached hard, don't come to Georgia. And from what I've seen, he's always delivered on that. Like kids that don't want to be coached up hard don't last. They don't stay at Georgia. That's, I think, a testament to what he's been able to accomplish. And we had a stat yesterday. No team has
beaten them on their home field
since 2020.
And then by Sunday, which just when I'm thinking, oh man, I got to go to work the next day, I'm going to go, no, don't.
Oh, no.
We're all off on Monday. So just so everybody knows, be forewarned, when you have that holiday for Labor Day, we're going to have it too.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can plan on the 3:30 or the 3 o'clock kickoff between Virginia Tech and South Carolina. That's a local game. You'll get that here in Atlanta. And then the night game at 7:30 is Notre Dame and Miami.
Dude, that's a big game too.
That's a fun one.
Dude, it's convicts.
Yep.
They make
old school.
They make documentaries about that stuff.
Oh yeah, you can watch that old 30 for 30 from the 80s and 90s of those teams. So it'll be fun.
I think in Harold Ford Jr., he finally gets it. He's a guy that I swear must be listening to the Morning Extra, because he's started saying the things that we've been saying forever. That if you talk bad about Donald Trump, you call him names, he becomes more popular.
The Democrats are failing. It's interesting to me to watch those leaders at the convention there or the meetings there, whatever the summer meetings might be. It would seem that you'd want to be calling people from the states that we lost, the big states that we lost, and asking leaders there, not elected leaders, but asking, what is it that we didn't listen to? What is it that you were looking for that we didn't give you? Instead of looking back and saying Kamala Harris should have won, maybe she should have, but she didn't. You don't win elections in the future by looking and clinging to something that didn't happen backwards. 2, we have name called and criticized this president over and over and over again for the past 10 years, and it hasn't worked. That's not what's going to beat him. If you want to beat him, you have to lay out a set of issues, a set of ideas, a vision. Why not talk about where we differ with the president on things that matter? Let's say we want to fully fund rural hospitals because they've been underfunded under the big, beautiful bill.
I feel like I have been saying this for months.
Yeah, if not years. Years and years and years.
I spent the entire show yesterday from start to finish telling any Democrat who would listen, you give me, it's now 7 million. I've capped it right now at 7.
That shouldn't be. It should go up.
I would fix your problems. And part of it was I talked about laying out alternative ideas, even if you don't plan on delivering them. Even if you were to say, hey, Donald Trump wants to ship out 20 million illegals. You go out and tell your voters, let's make it 40, 45. Hell, 50. I guess we were feeling a little bit lazy. Now, you won't do it, but that's what Harold Ford Jr. is talking about. If you want to keep calling him Nazi, fascist, orange man bad, all the things you want, it doesn't matter. None of them work.
Because it's a huge eye roll. Nobody pays attention to it. You've been doing that for 10 years. It's like the word racist. It's like the word sexist. It's whatever words that you choose that carry no value anymore because you've used them in every scenario, no matter what.
Can I do something sacrilegious?
Sure.
If I was to say, looks like Dolly Parton has had some work done.
Yeah, you think?
Okay, your reaction right there is just, the obvious?
Yeah.
Like, really? Now, does it make you change one thing you think about Dolly?
0.
Not one bit. Now, if you say that about any other woman out there, a lot of times it's,
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. It's the same concept with Donald Trump. You have gone to it so often that it just doesn't matter anymore. I firmly believe the only person who can separate Donald Trump from his voters is Donald Trump. And so what are you left with? You better give alternative ideas that
but
actually
don't have any.
And then that's the problem. That's exactly what he's hitting.
None. And I think that, he knows it, and maybe the whole party knows it, but they get in front of their constituents, just like the summer meetings when they open it up saying the land is stolen, America's stolen. That relates to 0 people.
There were 2 factors that were the biggest issues in the election. The economy is always going to be top. Every single time. You can tell me all about trans or men and women's sports or what we should do about abortion. Abortion was like 7th or 8th on most of the list when it was polled. It just was not a factor. The next one was inflation to tie along with that and illegal immigration. So here's what you had. And unfortunately for the Democrats, Kamala Harris was the leader of the party that helped continue the inflation that was created by the $7 trillion in spending coming out of COVID, and was the party of the open border. So these were areas where you were not going to be able to run and win. And at least Harold Ford Jr. is pointing out, hey, we should go back to these big states and find out why you lost. You don't even have to do that. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, sure, we'll save you a trip. But it wouldn't matter because they wouldn't care. The people in those states would not care.
If you walked into any one of those states like, how did you lose Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania would say, we were concerned about the economy, inflation, and the open border.
And the politicians would be like, Donald Trump is bad. That would be, and that's the juxtaposition right there.
Then you would say, so how do we plan on dealing with this? Let's call him a Nazi.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not going to work. It's
all
not
right.
going to work. And Harold Ford Jr. knows it. A lot of people know it. Will they be able to shake that? Probably not. When we continue, Neil Bortz, the Talkmaster, joins us. You only hear him on Extra 106.3.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, the Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
When I left the house this morning, it was 50. It was still 58 degrees. I was like, goodness gracious, it feels like winter around here already. It's like we're just skipping over fall, going straight to winter. I don't know about you, but it gets into the 50s and I start locking up. I'm not a fan. The thing is, it's going to be a very comfortable temperature this afternoon, right? Your HVAC won't be used very much. It's just going to sit idle. This is perfect timing for you to call Central Heating and Air Conditioning and let Chuck and his team come out and do the maintenance while your HVAC isn't running every 2 seconds. They won't even have to flip the thing off because it won't be running. The weather this afternoon, like yesterday, near perfect. So take the time to call them to do the maintenance. That way it continues to run at peak efficiency, no matter if you have the heat on or the AC on, depending on where you are. I know in our family we fight about it a little bit, but right now is the perfect time when the temperature is perfect and you're not using your HVAC as much as you normally would to get that maintenance done. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. They can do a maintenance agreement, come out semi-annually. They can repair anything that's wrong with your system right now, whether it's a carrier system or not. They are your Atlanta carrier experts, but they can fix any brand. Or you can get a new system. Maybe you've gotten to the point where that your system is past its prime. It's not to where it used to be, and even repairing it's not going to correct the problem. Get a new carrier system from Central Heating and Air Conditioning. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Comfort that shows up day in, day out. That's what I want when I get home. Cozy Earth nailed comfort with their bamboo sheets. These sheets are game changers. They are incredibly soft, they're breathable, and temperature regulating. Tanya sleeps hot. I sleep cold. Somehow or another, both of us have found a way to sleep perfectly. It's really like magic. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets wick away heat and moisture, helping you stay cool and cozy all night long. And their everywhere pant, next level. It's the go-to for everything. Travel, work, chasing the kids, or doing nothing at all. They're clean cut, super stretchy, and unbelievably comfortable. Refined comfort meets real-world performance. Everyone I know who's tried Cozy Earth is hooked. Seriously, you'll wish you switched sooner. And there's no risk. 100-night sleep trial, 10-year warranty. Try them, wear them, love them, or send them back. But you're not going to because they're great. CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code BECK for up to 40% off the softest bedding, bath, and apparel. Built for real life. Made to keep up with yours. Cozy Earth. You can thank me later and tell them I sent you.
I'm Ashley Dvorkin with a Fox Celebrity Profile with Allegra Edwards, who returns to deliver more hilarity with the final season of Prime Video's upload.
What is it like sharing those scenes? Like, were you cracking everyone up, especially because you're so comfortable with each other now?
Because I know them so well, all of these great cast members of mine, I feel safer being sillier now, especially since we've known each other for almost 8 years. So it's like the ceiling has gotten higher for how much weirder I can experiment with some line deliveries, or, they're so used to me screaming. That is such old news.
How is that personally for you then? Because you've been given kind of this space to allow you to do that.
Our showrunner, creator, Greg Daniels, and the writers room, they've been so creative and collaborative. After 4 seasons, they trusted me not to completely go rogue and turn it into a different show altogether.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Saving you money, I'm Hillary Barsky. You're stuck, you're trying to save, but still having trouble. There's some practical steps that you can take that helps you adopt smarter savings habits, like tracking expenses consistently, which helps reduce overspending by increasing awareness of where your money is going on a weekly and monthly basis. Check out budgeting apps that can make the process easier by allowing you to allocate funds monthly. Even just writing down purchases can discourage impulsive, unnecessary spending. Paying yourself first is a powerful habit for building savings. It does work best when paired with automatic transfers. And try cooking at home, which is a cost-effective option compared to eating out, which can put a big dent in your wallet. And try switching to generic brands. Store brands typically cost far less than name brand products and often deliver similar quality. And plan major acquisitions around sales seasons and cancel unused gym or club memberships. And the same holds true for streaming subscriptions you don't use. Saving you money, Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Medical College of Georgia cut the ribbon on its new campus in Marietta at Wellstar Kennestone. Dr. David Hess, the dean of the college, said this first regional campus will create a pipeline for more doctors to stay in Georgia. 24 students will learn and train at this location. More regional facilities are being planned. Georgia law enforcement is teaming up with neighboring states ahead of Labor Day weekend on the roads. The 34th Hands Across the Border campaign brings agencies together from Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee to crack down on drunk driving, speeding, distracted driving, and other violations. Powell Harrelson with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says the cross-state partnership helps save lives and increases accountability. And the FBI office in Atlanta says agents and partners with the Safe Streets Gang Task Force are carrying out arrests of suspected gang members across Metro Atlanta and Athens. The operation is dubbed Summer Heat. Officials describe it as part of an ongoing effort to dismantle gangs, reduce violent crime, and restore safety in communities across Georgia. Today's weather's sunny and cool, starting in the 50s and warming up to the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Neil Bortz is the talk master, and he joins us on Extra 106.3. Neil, before we get started real good, I wanted you to know that everybody, me, Los, Jure, and I assume you were all wearing the same underwear today.
I haven't dressed yet.
Oh, well then probably what you will put on.
You made an assumption, sir, that was not good, Tug.
I was too early. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, for years, I've been able to sit before the microphone dressed any damn way I want.
You're pulling a Donald Duck?
Yeah, okay.
It's just no britches.
Whatever the hell
britches
that
at all. He's got a shirt on, no britches.
Winnie the Pooh just
dipping his hand in the honey jar.
So I was listening to y'all, and I was wondering if you found that list.
The list.
Yeah, let me dig it up. I'll get it right here for you.
It's the craziest thing, Neil. It's the most obvious thing in the history of the world. You can't speak like this and expect people to think you're normal. The Democrats have finally figured that out.
I know. There's a list in the New York Post. Or is it today? No, it's the Post. Therapy speak, seminar room language, organizer jargon, gender correctness, racial constructs. All of these words. Don't use these words. These, like privilege. Just something that it triggers people. Centering, safe space, holding space, body shaming. Let's see, what are some of my favorites?
Chest feeder.
Well, yeah, you mentioned those birthing person, inseminated pregnant people. Chest, yeah.
Those are insane.
Well, for instance, if you're hungry and I say food insecurity or food insecure, the left has recognized if you say this, the rest of America goes, y'all are nuts. Why can't you just say hungry?
And you can't say a person is, well, they're not arrested, they're not in jail, they are justice involved.
Yes. In fact, incarcerated people or involuntary confinement.
Yes, and incarceration is now a big word.
Yeah.
I think the worst I ever saw in my life, and this didn't last all that long, because somebody over at Channel 2 said, "My God, we can't do this." Is that they wouldn't use the word trying.
Trying?
Yeah,
trying.
That's strange.
Like there's a news story, and we're trying to get more information about this. No, they couldn't say that. We are efforting.
Oh. I did that as well for fun.
Yeah.
I heard that, and I love what Skip Carey did to Ted Turner one time.
Oh, what's that?
Well, Ted Turner, in his big, international goodwill games and all that, he big internationalist, whatever. You can't use the word foreign on my TV station anymore. So Skip Carey, calling a Braves game, says, "I've got an international object in my eye here."
See, he was also the same guy that would be like, "We're in the bottom of the fifth, and so am I."
I love Skip Carey. I made his life miserable.
How did you make his life miserable? What does that mean?
Well, it just so happens that the Queen, before I even met her, was a frequent partier at the Brave Falcon Lounge, which was a very popular Cheshire Bridge Road in Fulton County because it was the last stop for booze on the way to the dry DeKalb County.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So she just knew a lot of those people, and Skip Carey was part of that crowd. So for years, I had Skip believing that he had dated Donna before I met her.
Awkward.
I said, yeah, I'd be up there in the booth before a game, and I said, Skip would say, yeah, Donna told me that about you, so stop it. I never.
Yeah.
So I immensely enjoyed that.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. But I'm glad you got these woke words out of there. That took a part of my stuff.
Well, that was a microaggression on my part, and it also included, because we talked about Puma underwear. That was part of body shaming.
Oh, really?
These are the ones I'm system of oppression. There's another phrase.
It's like you get $1 every one you work in.
Is this as good a time as any to say that Derek Chauvin is a political prisoner?
Oh, sure. Listen, I love it. Yeah. I was going to talk about that at some point today. There is something that's very strange, Neil. I think that as much as we focus on New York City and what's going on there, or California, we can point at Minneapolis and Minnesota as a whole and say that place, I think, is already lost to the communists at this point.
Well, Minneapolis is lost to the Islam.
Yes.
Dude,
very much so.
It's crazy up there.
I mean, the Mall of America, I got in my little bitty airplane one time and flew up to Minneapolis just because I wanted to see the Mall of America. And because I had my own airplane, I could do stuff like that.
Bragger.
Yeah, I know. Well, I came by it honestly. My dad was a pilot and all that kind of stuff. Cool. So anyway, I went up there and it was quite enjoyable. I said, this place is a monster. It's a monster. Well, now locally they call it the Mall of Somalia. And you're more likely to see women in burqas there than you are to see shorts wearing neighborhood Debbies and what have you. It's Minneapolis is lost.
Yeah, and it really is. It's very strange, Neil, that they actually now have regular residents who talk about there's legitimate sirens for the call to prayer, so that everyone hears it. It's like, wait a minute, that's very strange, where you would think that it's a minority of society, but it's like what you've talked about before. Once you have a large amount that all get together, this is what occurs. They turn it into their own land.
It's nuclear physics. How do you make an atomic bomb? The simple explanation for making a nuclear bomb is you get two subcritical pieces of uranium. Either one of these pieces, all it's doing is sitting there and decaying. But if you slam them together, then they create a mass that is unstable, and you have a runaway nuclear reaction, which is a bomb. Well, in this country, look, I know Muslims, and many of them have been perfectly gracious and what have you. But we're going to reach critical mass in this country on Muslims. And when we reach critical mass, they will deem themselves to be unstoppable. And at that point, it's going to be a real fight for America. It's already going on in London. It's already going on in Great Britain.
Across Europe.
I mean, with this open immigration, and and it's going to be in the United States as well. It's starting to feel that way in Dearborn and other areas, Michigan, Minneapolis. But just wait until that critical mass is reached.
You're already seeing people in leadership positions there talk about how we have to bring down the American empire. America is a cancer. I mean, that is common discussion among the people that live there. And I don't know how you look at it and go, it's just fine. Everybody's getting along here.
They're just kidding around.
Yeah, that's just a joke.
Yeah, right.
That's the truth. That's the way it's portrayed.
Well, I mean, they've made it very clear. There have been speeches, there have been writings by Islamic scholars and what have you, but we have to lay low. We have to play by the rules. We have to not present an adversarial front to these people until we have enough, until our numbers are such that we can do so without fear of retribution. And we're on the way. We're on the way. And being 80 years old, in fact, Donna's upset with me. I have a new name when I get a cup of coffee. Can I have your name, please? You know, it used to be Dirtbag.
Okay.
What might it be now?
What are we going now?
I just say cranky old bastard.
That's a lot to ride on one of those little cubs.
It's a COB.
But they love me. They love me at this one shop. And so I'm sitting out there, and all of a sudden I hear this girl, cranky old bastard.
They don't even hit you with the initials like Lo said, the COB?
No. And then Donna rolls her eyes, and, then I'm in for another day. What do y'all think about burning the flag?
You know what? I wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of this comes into being, it's like a wrestler move. Like, that it has already been shot down 2 different times in the Supreme Court. If this causes to have a discussion about burning other flags, like, for instance, why can I burn the American flag, yet if I burn a trans flag, I'm going to catch 5 years? Like, I think there's a discussion there.
Absolutely.
But as far as freedom of speech, it's always been freedom of speech. It's been that way for 40 years.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that part.
Okay, good. Because a newspaper presented that. Oh, Donald Trump is trying to do something that many conservatives disagree with. If you're a good conservative believing in our Constitution, better be your flag and not one you took from somebody else. And if so, that, knock yourself out.
It's not for me, but do what you want with it. And the fact that when Donald Trump was arrested in the state of Georgia, I remember talking to a handful of my friends, and their plans were to go home and turn their American flags upside down. And I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to do this as well. Now, I decided not to, but I respected the fact that they chose to do that.
And here's the other thing, Neil. Think about this. You know how mad the Democrats hate Donald Trump? They're going to do this now just to spite him. And then you're going to see a bunch of Democrats on TV burning flags.
Well, that's not going to help the Democrat Party.
No, exactly.
Of course, but that's the point.
It's the wrestler move. It's like, I called you out. I'm pointing this out. It's not going to pass legal muster, yet it's going to cause these wild Democrats to start doing it, and it's not going to help them.
And it's an 80-20 issue. Like, even though this is not a legal issue, 80% of America hates it. The 20% are going to do it, and it's going to piss the 80% off, and they're going to vote for Trump and the Republicans even more.
Okay, latest Cracker Barrel news?
Oh, I'm here for it.
They screwed up the peg game.
I saw this. This is wrong. Please tell our audience about it, Neil. This is wrong.
Well, the little peg game, you got a triangle, you got all these. I've never been able to do it. But you jump these little pegs and try to have one peg left. And it used to be on the board, it would, if you have 2 or 3 pegs left, you're basically stupid.
Yeah.
And if you have 4 pegs left at the end of the game, you're an ignoramus.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that triggered some people.
Of course.
So now, if you play the peg game and you have 4 pegs left, it just says, have fun.
Yeah, try again. Better luck next
Try
time.
again.
Yeah. And Cracker Barrel says, nothing's. It's unchanged. The rules and the fun are completely unchanged.
Yes,
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But, Don and I are big Cracker Barrel fans because when we're traveling in the Bortz bus, where are you going to go?
Yeah, it's easy. In and out. The food over the years has been good.
Plenty of parking for the Bortz bus.
And it's dropped off in the last few years.
Sometimes there's one particular Cracker Barrel between here and Atlanta that we stop at for dinner and then stay the night, and then have breakfast in the morning and head on out in the bus again. But and it's one of the only places you can go and get really good vegetable plate.
That's right. My wife gets that anytime we've went.
And by that I mean no cauliflower, no broccoli, no asparagus. When in the hell did we start saying this is what a vegetable plate is?
I don't know, but I like all 3 of those things.
You don't.
I do, I swear. I love broccoli, love cauliflower, love asparagus.
I do, 2 out of 3. I'll take them all day.
You know what asparagus will do to you, don't you?
Makes your pee smell funny.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say it. I was gonna...
Makes it smell kind of different. Yeah, it does.
It stands out. It's pungent.
And roasted broccoli may be the favorite thing of everybody in my house.
Yes.
Oh,
ours too.
God.
You don't like broccoli?
Now about
seafood and broccoli?
How do you have like the taste buds of a 7-year-old?
there you are, play the music, and I wanted somebody to explain Jeff Duncan to me.
Well, a Democrat that called himself a Republican for years. What do you mean? What's the explanation? That's it.
And about land acknowledgement, you Indians out there.
Yes.
Yeah, we may have been nasty from now and again, but once we beat you, we didn't eat you.
That's a good point.
It's true. Whereas the other Indians that beat them for that territory were doing exactly that.
Yeah, a lot of cannibalism going on.
Yep.
Just not part of our palate.
Well, got to have the victim mentality. Got to hate America. That's the way the Democrats open their summer meetings.
Oh, and you think they're bad? Look at the Democrat Socialist Party, how they open their meetings.
I can fix it all for the right price. I can fix it all.
Would you like to join our campaign?
For what?
To help fix
We're going to fix the DNC, but for the right price.
We're going to start at $7 million.
No. We're going to have to make it 10 if you're going to get me involved.
See, Neil wants his payday.
I don't want to work anymore.
Well, you could just email us or check in this way and make sure that we're going down the right path.
Okay, well, send me your outline. I'll add to it.
Sounds good. Neil Bortz, the Talk Master, only on Extra 106.3. Thank you, Neil. We always love talking to you.
Be good.
Take care.
Do the best we possibly can.
He's going to go have a bowl of Captain Crunch now.
Yes, he
while
is.
he craps on seafood.
Dude, and then vegetables too, like great vegetables. Those are my favorite
broccoli.
three. Me too. I love broccoli, cauliflower, and asparagus. Neil Bortz, what are you talking about? First time I've ever disagreed with Neil. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back, Trump continues to fight for peace in the Middle East, and more countries are going to recognize Israel's right to exist, which is a good thing. Next on Extra.
The Morning Extra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Good morning, Atlanta. Let's talk about the Honest Car Guy. HonestCarGuy.com. Now, you can also know him as Tom. He'll respond to either one. He's friendly either way. But if you're looking for another vehicle, this is where Tom can help you out. HonestCarGuy.com, or give him a call, 844 Show me one. It's a pretty simple process and actually eliminates a whole lot of time. You know, when you've always gone to the dealership and you're talking about, man, why am I having to be here for 5 or 6 hours in order to get another vehicle? That is not the way Tom does things. In fact, you can be part of the process as much or as little as you want. It's fully transparent. If you just say, Tom, here's the kind of car I'm looking for. He's going to scour. He's going to find it. He's going to show you exactly what the price of that vehicle is going to be. And a lot of times he'll even say, hey, let's give it a little bit of time. We might be able to get this a little bit cheaper as he works with that dealership to get you that vehicle. But here's the deal. You're not dealing with all the fees that they typically end up adding on to that vehicle. So you're getting it with that bill of sale and know exactly what that car is going to cost you. And then what happens from there? The honesty fee. You're just giving Tom that fee. That's basically the, hey, Tom, thanks for making this work for me. Here's what it is. Tom has told me from 1960 to 2025, he can find any vehicle in the country that you're looking for. And when it comes to, it doesn't matter where it is in the country, he'll get it in your driveway within a couple of days. That's how good he is. Go to honestcarguy.com. That's honestcarguy.com. Financing is available. Trade-ins as well. He offers the whole gamut of everything. Again, honestcarguy.com, or give him a call. 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Atlanta Braves took the second game of their 3-game series against the Marlins in Miami last night, blowing them out late 11-2. The Braves scored 9 runs in the 9th inning to make the final inning a laugher. Today, the rubber game features a 1:10 afternoon start time. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons made a move to help out with the injuries on their offensive line yesterday, as a team sent a conditional 7th-round draft choice to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for tackle Michael Jarrell. The Falcons will start the season without their starting right tackle Caleb McGarry and his primary backup. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find local voices, familiar faces, and community businesses like Bubalo Medical.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Bubalo, and for 24 years, we've helped Atlanta look better, feel better, and perform their best. Our clinics provide expert care in weight loss, hair restoration, testosterone therapy, intimate health, and with our Bubalo Care membership, our patients gain access to at-cost medical services, advanced peptides, biological age tracking, and so much more. Want to know how fast you're really aging and how to turn back the clock? Give us a call at 404-998-4194 or visit mybioage.org to get started. That's mybioage.org.
Friends, it's time to take charge of your health and focus on you. There's no better time than now. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
September is Fan Appreciation Month at Truist Park. Get ready as the Braves battle the Mariners and the Cubs September 5th through the 10th. Fans can enjoy 3 gate giveaways, including the Kids Beaded Necklace, a Michael Harris II scooter bobblehead presented by Xfinity, and the replica jersey presented by Coke. Plus, the popular Barbie ticket pack returns this season on September 9th. See all of the fun this September and get your tickets at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
The only thing better than covering all these Trump wins is watching the left implode over it.
Donald Trump is entertaining the world while he's changing the whole freaking planet.
Extra 106.3 is committed to bring you the news you care about most. From Atlanta legends and conservative voices you've relied on for a generation. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10. Donald Trump continues to rack up win after win after win, and he is a hawk when it comes to world peace. He's doing his best to secure the entirety of the world.
How much fun was it yesterday to basically sit in on a cabinet meeting?
For 3.5 hours, man.
Yeah.
That dude just took questions nonstop.
He gave you a seat, just said, here's what goes on in here.
No one's ever done it. It's transparency like we've never seen before. And the people that call him dictator, fascist, and all the crazy crap that doesn't mean anything, they've never seen anything like this before either. Straight questioning of the most powerful person on earth. Give me another country that would even entertain that idea.
And to think, and at this point, doesn't it feel obvious when we had the reports that Jill Biden was the one running the cabinet meetings?
Of course. Yeah.
That's where we were. This is what leadership actually looks like. This is what a strong American president does for this country and the rest of the world. This is the salad days. We're in the golden age. Enjoy it, everybody.
Absolutely.
This is good.
Keeping it as long as we possibly can. And a guy that really does genuinely want to bring peace to the world. Because, it's better for everybody, obviously, if the world is in a peaceful place. And are you going to be able to end every skirmish and every war? No, but I appreciate the fact that he tries. And when he established the Abraham Accords, that was something that no one ever thought would be possible. When you go back and look at the Abraham Accords, just the fact that UAE and Bahrain in 2020 said, yep, we are willing to recognize Israel as a state. No other Arab nation, no other Middle Eastern nations had done that or would even consider that. I'm surprised that Donald Trump even thought to ask, because I've been there, man. There was no way that is supposed to happen.
Well, this is the language of business. So much of what you have with the Abraham Accords is an exchange of technology. It's that we're going to recognize that these countries in the Middle East can help one another, but first, they have to recognize one another. And that was the basis. I believe that Donald Trump, and this is not going to work everywhere in the world, all right? But it tends to work in a lot of places. The economic might that the U.S. economy has, along with some of our allies out there, hey, if you'll work with this country, then maybe we'll be able to provide some help to you. That seems to be what's getting some of these peace deals done. Now, we're talking about like 6 or 7 is what we're at as of now. It remains to be seen what's going to happen over, obviously, in Eastern Europe. But that language of business tends to kind of cut through all the crazy rhetoric that some of these countries have said to one another for years.
Sudan and Morocco, there in North Africa, jumped onto the Abraham Accords after the initial 2 countries. But Steve Witkoff says there are multiple countries set to join the Abraham Accords.
We are negotiating multiple entries into the Abraham Peace Accords because of your vision. Azerbaijan, all these different conflicts that we're out there on your behalf on, these are people who have never really seen the world change in this way. Peace through strength really, really works. Russia, Ukraine, Iran, Israel, Hamas, we're having meetings all this week on all 3 of those conflicts, and we hope to settle them before the end of this year. Your team is nothing short of incredible.
Dude, peace through strength, when he said that actually works, yes, it does. We've seen it for the entirety of the United States. And when we had weakness in the White House, like we have for the last 4 years, what happened? When we had weakness in the White House in 2012, Russia took Crimea. They saw weakness and took advantage of it.
Well, look what happened when you had Israel and Iran going at it for 12 days. What did the rest of the Middle East do? There was some denouncement. Hey, that shouldn't be happening. Nobody else jumped in.
That was all, though.
Because the Abraham Accords essentially is lining out not only a technological exchange, not only an economic exchange, but also from a diplomacy standpoint. Everyone recognizes in the region that Iran is the problem. That's part of what the Accords are. It isolates Iran so that when something busts out regionally, as it did for 12 days, everyone else stood down. The Israelis did what they did. Obviously, we got involved with how we did, got out of there. And now you're left with more of these countries in the region that are saying, hey, we want to be part of this because they recognize the economic development that's there.
And they don't want to deal with the Ayatollah. Nobody does. Those people recognize what that form of government that is doing in the region and the chaos that it's causing and the instability that's causing. And this is a little bit in a different direction, but Australia has just ejected all of the ambassadors from Iran out of their country because they feel like Iran is working underneath, underhandedly to work against the Australian government. And there was an explosion and some people were injured, and they believe that the Ayatollah instructed their ambassadors and the people there to do that. So even Australia, as far away as Australia, they're like, no, we don't want to deal with these people either. So can you imagine what Saudi Arabia thinks about it? Can you imagine what Bahrain thinks about it when it's right next door to them?
Well, they recognize, all of them do, a nuclear-powered Iran is bad for the entire region.
Absolutely.
They're all in agreement on this.
Yeah, it's hard not to, because you know what they stand for. Death to America, death to Israel. That is everything comes from that. That's where every belief they have spawns from. Death to America, death to Israel. So if you put a nuclear weapon in their hand, what do you think they're going to do?
And there's a history here. There's a history in that when Iran has been Iran, and now this is This is before, obviously, the Shah getting run out of there and the Ayatollahs taking over. Iran still looked at themselves as, well, we're the sophisticated ones in the region. The rest of y'all are just a bunch of fools that are out here in the desert. And so could you imagine if you then gave them nuclear weapons? That's a big reason why. They're like, nope, y'all are not going down that road.
Peace through strength is real. It works. And it's on display. And it emanates from the White House. Because we have a strong leader in Donald Trump. And a guy that is, he's going to tackle these problems. No matter what. He is not going to back down. Not going to back down from Putin. Not going to back down from Zelensky. The Ayatollah or any of them. And I'm proud of it. That's the military that I once served in and want to see be successful again, because they've not been in quite some time. And having a good commander-in-chief for that military is so important. When we come back on Extra 106.3, the Trump crime pressure campaign is already showing success in the Big Apple, and maybe some other places too. Next on Extra.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. With daily commentary you'll hear throughout the day. And he's on live with the Morning Extra every Tuesday morning at 7:30. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3. And catch all of Neil's commentary on the Extra app.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. That is, until they meet the Warrior Alliance. The Warrior Alliance goes the extra mile to reach veterans in their communities so they do not have to take this journey alone. With over 40 partners across 10 service areas, your donation goes a long way toward achieving maximum impact for a veteran and their family. Go to thewarrioralliance.org to donate today and commit to helping the Warrior Alliance change thousands of lives for the better.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, Trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from the Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
We have all been in bad relationships at some time or another in our life. They drain us, they weigh us down, and they wear on us. So we just resolve that things won't change, and then we decide to live with it and make the best of a bad situation. That's also what my pain felt like. I tried everything, and I guess I just stopped expecting better. I just resolved to myself that maybe this is just my life. With Relief Factor, you don't have to stay in that relationship with pain. You can break up with pain, like Anthony did. He wrote to me and told me, I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and I am back to running my own business. I'm back to fishing and gardening and all the things that are truly important to me in my life. Relief Factor is the 100% drug-free solution that targets the inflammation causing your pain, back, neck, joints, wherever it hurts. Break up with your pain. Try Relief Factor, the 3-week quick start, $19.95. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
The bold blitz to beat down crime. I'm Angelo Bavaro. President Trump holding a cabinet meeting yesterday where he called for the return of the death penalty in the nation's capital. It comes as D.C. sees its first homicide in nearly 2 weeks.
That shooting took place early Tuesday morning after midnight when an adult male was found unconscious but breathing in Anacostia off Minnesota Avenue in southeast D.C. He later died in the hospital. The White House says there's been over 1,000 arrests this month since President Trump ordered those reinforcements to help D.C.'s police force, which is 800 cops short. Trump says Republican House and Senate leaders are working on a new legislation to fight crime. Posting last night, Speaker Mike Johnson and Leader John Thune are working with me and other Republicans on a comprehensive crime bill. It's what our country needs, and now more to follow. Make America great again.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Washington, D.C. does not have the death penalty, but the Trump administration has been pushing police to charge suspects with federal crimes, some of which do carry the death penalty. City officials continue to argue that crime had already been falling. President Trump is facing a legal challenge to his attempt to fire a Federal Reserve board member.
The president says his removal of Lisa Cook as a Federal Reserve Board governor is not related to her opposition to lower interest rates.
We need people that are 100% above board, and it doesn't seem like she was.
President Trump cites an allegation of mortgage fraud by Cook for her dismissal, an accusation Cook denies. Her attorney says she will sue to prevent an unlawful firing. President Trump told reporters he is considering a replacement for Cook. Her term on the Fed does not expire until 2038. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Cook was appointed by President Joe Biden in 2022. America is listening to Fox News.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Support conservative conversation on the radio in Atlanta by emailing us at sales@xtra1063.com.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Good morning to you. Where were you?
You're learning so much this morning.
Dude, no kidding. About mortgages and things.
We're going through mortgage fraud.
Well, we're just talking about, from the Fox News update, we're talking about the
Was it Lisa Cook?
Yeah, she's the governor on the
Federal,
the Federal Reserve.
More like Lisa Crook, am I right?
That's what it sounds like.
Hey, thanks, Donald.
So cheap.
It should be so easy to figure this out, whether she's taking advantage of the system or not, if she's committing mortgage fraud or not. And Los is kind of giving me the rundown because he's owned 2 homes in 2 different states.
I was just pointing out that if you have loans on 2 or even multiple homes, you can have a multitude of primary loans. But depending on state to state and some of the legislation that's out there, you have a situation where, for instance, if I remember correctly, state of Florida, you had to occupy the residence for 24 months. It had to be your primary residence for 2 years. Now, some states are a little more stringent, it could be 5 years. But you could live there for 2 years, buy another property, rent that one, and then the next property could have a primary loan, and the next property could have a primary loan. But it had to be your legal residence for a stated amount of time. What we're finding out about a lot of these politicians is that they were taking advantage of the system and essentially purchasing a home, using it as a primary residence because they never intended to live there and they never did.
Yeah, which is called mortgage fraud.
And you can always get a secondary home loan. Those are available, especially if, let's say, you do a certain amount of business in a different state, a different city.
Yeah, so you travel back and forth.
And you're traveling back and forth. That is also better than an investment property loan, but yet it's not going to be as low as your primary home loan.
When I think about these politicians taking advantage, especially someone who's on the chair or on the board of the Federal Reserve, they control what kind of rate that you get and what kind of rate that you're going to have for your house. They're not willing to change it. They've been unwilling to change it to give you a better situation. And the thing that ticks me off the worst is they used their position to be able to enrich themselves to take advantage of a better situation that they weren't willing to give to you.
It's one thing if you're Adam Schiff, all right? Senator from California, as grimy and low down as it gets. Lower than a snake's belly. I think that's the country term for it.
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, that's one thing. When you're sitting on the board of the Fed as one of the governors, where you get to dictate policy that determines who is spending what on mortgages, and you have already cheated the system, that's just low.
It's so awful.
Because Adam Schiff, no matter what he does, cannot affect my mortgage rate.
He has nothing, no matter what law he breaks, he has no direct effect on you.
Whereas Lisa Cook.
Yes, that's right. Hey,
I see you, Jure.
Dude, I love it.
That's the cheapest thing.
I don't care. I think it's great.
But that's a different matter.
I wish I'd have thought of it.
I mean, you got the hand in the game at that point.
Yeah,
like, you are in the game as deep as possible.
Tipping the scales. Making sure that Americans don't get the rate that they could have, all because you hate Donald Trump. And there's new video out there. There's new video out there of her saying that he is a fascist on camera.
Yeah, she's going to have a problem with that
Dude, I'm telling you.
You want the good news?
Yes, I do. Yes, please. Because none of this is good.
If she does actually file a lawsuit to try and hold on to her job.
Well, she's already said she is.
Maybe we do get a definition from the courts as to who has authority over the Fed, because the Fed has existed for the better part of now 30-some years, where it's almost like an independent fourth arm of government. Where there's where's the oversight?
It's not really
It's not really there. If it does fall under the view of the executive branch, now Donald Trump can go, I can fire any of y'all if I need to.
At any point that I need to. Now,
it's going to take a court ruling, though, to say basically who's in charge of this. If the courts say that Donald Trump does not have the ability to do this, then it remains as, again, a fourth arm of government.
Yeah. But the other thing is, getting someone like that off the board, regardless of how that plays out, I think is important too. If it's supposed to be independent, you can't have a person on video saying Donald Trump's a fascist, he's a racist, he's all these things, he's horrible, and then expect her to go in there and be independent, make independent decisions based on what's good for the country or what she deems as bad for Donald Trump, so she's going to go against it. That's not independent at all. That's completely to the left. That's completely saying, I have a political agenda. I don't care who it hurts, but my goal is to hurt Donald Trump.
If we hadn't seen the previous 4 years, where it was all of the lawfare, the activist judges, the trying to interfere with the Trump agenda, then maybe you could write this off as, well, she may have her political views, but she's not using that for the rest of the country. The problem is these people continue to use their political views and they rule accordingly. That we've seen it. It's now documented. The whole resist campaign,
because that's what this feels like.
It calls on all of them to do these sorts of deals. How can I resist? What do I have to put out there? How do I slow down the Trump administration for a couple of days, if not weeks?
And I've never really thought about it, but she's just as much as the deep state as anybody else.
If
it turns out to be that.
Last 4 years has given you the example. These are people that are willing to file injunction after injunction. Now, it's always now taken the Supreme Court and other courts to basically say, get that out of here. Like, that is not going to apply. But she didn't have to worry about this. She wasn't subjected to any sort of court.
And then break the law too, allegedly.
So I'm like, please sue the Trump administration.
Yeah, let's get this out in front.
Sue them.
Because some people would say, we'd like to see the Fed go away to begin with.
The rest of that board of governors is praying, like, do not sue him. Do not sue this administration.
It's too late. She's already hired lawyers. It's coming.
Awesome.
It's coming.
You want another victory?
Yes, I do.
So it happened last night, 8 hours after Donald Trump said, Cracker Barrel, you should probably get rid of that new logo and go back to your old logo and, start changing up some stuff.
Yeah.
You might even get, a bounce out of this.
Yeah.
Sure enough, last night.
Yes, which is all great, right? Everybody's
Doesn't really change, but it was never about a logo.
It was never about that, and that's the thing that people continue to get wrong. I even saw my buddy Joey Jones, whom I love, and he talked about it. He was like, "See, they changed they changed the logo back. Now we can go eat some hash brown casserole." And I'm
never about
"No,
that.
dude, it's not about that.
It's not about that. It's
and
about
I would say that to Donald Trump too.
It's about how you treat your customers, your clientele. To read the story in Fox News, Fox Business News, about one of their big investors out of San Antonio, Texas, for 3 years writing to them about here's the direction things are going and this is bad and we need to abandon this course of action.
This woke ideology that's infiltrated because of this marketing company that we've created or bought or hired. And then the woman that we've put in charge, the ideas that she has that goes against every value that Cracker Barrel stands for and the people that eat at Cracker Barrel, we should abandon this. And what did they do? They dismissed him at every turn. Even in the instances where he was right, if you read the Fox Business Report, they even dismissed the places where he was right and continued the course.
Still goes back to the same thing. 8 women, no men. And there was no one there to ever say, excuse me, ladies, do we know who our audience is?
And
should we be funding gay pride initiatives for all ages? No, we probably should not. Do we know who our audience is? I told you, Cracker Barrel is the Sunday church crowd. It's what you do. You get out of church, you go to Cracker Barrel. You want a down-home, nice country meal, nice southern meal, you go to Cracker Barrel. There's nothing wrong with that audience. But it's not about a logo. It's about that audience was suddenly, why would we want these people?
Yeah. Well,
why are we catering to these people?
Almost like Bud Light when they did the same thing.
Why do we want the frat boy?
Yeah, get away.
Why do we want the working guy who just did 9 hours on the job and he wants to buy a 6-pack on the way home? We don't want that guy.
Or even worse, we already have him. We don't have to cater to him anymore. He's in the bag for us. Isn't that the way the Democrats think, though? They do the same thing with their voters.
It's always the idea of these people, these CEOs, and I don't know, maybe some of them view themselves as like tech CEOs, like I'm going to change the world, because that's always the joke in the tech world. And in Silicon Valley, it's always, I've created this because I intend to change the world. I believe a lot of these CEOs look at themselves as, I know I've been given the responsibility of taking care of a heritage franchise like a Bud Light or a Cracker Barrel or anything else out there, but I'm out to change the world. No. How about you grow revenue?
It seems to be the
I know it's not world changing to dish out more hash browns,
but it is for that company. And if you don't do it, you wind up in a situation like Bud Light or like Cracker Barrel.
Could you imagine if we had a CEO of Dear, Good, Clean, Strong Waffle House and they were to say, we're going to have to change up some things around here because we need to change the world. You're Waffle House, and I love you for just being Waffle House.
Absolutely.
You don't have to change the world. You know what you do? You serve awesome breakfast.
Not everybody's going to change the world. There are some things that are just fine in the world, like hash browns. They're just fine.
They're just fine.
They don't need to be changed.
You know what's great? An all-star.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No one needs to be the CEO at Waffle House going, now that we've perfected this all-star, if we could just change the world.
Yeah, along with it. What do you think?
No, it's okay. The world's fine. You're good. Let's keep these butts in seats.
And if you want to be engaged in the community, how about do a backpack drive?
Why not? How about help out a local school?
That seems very wholesome and down home.
There's a lot of high schools that would love to have you sponsor their basketball team.
Or provide food on a Friday night before, the evening meal before they play the football game.
You want to change the world, change the community.
Change some kid's life?
Yeah, take it easy.
I'm telling you, man.
You don't have to go.
Is this part of the $7 million?
This is part of the $7 million. My consulting
We're giving
fee
free advice this morning.
is going to be, how do you fix all this stuff?
All the great names in college football these days, and football in general, but just imagine some running back like Hash Brown Harrelson.
Be awesome.
That's right.
Someone now you do have a couple of restaurants in Athens they're currently spending with some local players. Now they haven't asked them to change their names yet, but I'm just telling you that by the time my daughter, my oldest one, reaches school, if you want her to be All-Star Medina, or Over Easy Medina, I'll be like, okay, hold on, I draw the line there.
Yeah.
How How about
That's great.
like Texas Toast Medina?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, we can do that.
We can get a national deal on this, like Buffalo Wild Wings Medina.
Yes.
But have you seen there's an ad on TV now? I feel like it's AmFam Insurance or something, and it's the kids walking across their like preschool graduation.
And they have names.
Yes.
It's like, what was it? Pete's
Car
Salon
Wash or something. Yeah.
Salon and Tan.
They're like, what did you do? And like, hey, we got to save for the future somehow. They got to go to college. We sold their naming
We
rights.
sponsored the twins.
That's right. So good. I'm telling you, we could solve all kinds of problems.
We don't need to change the world from the stoop of a Waffle House.
No, just
or a Cracker Barrel.
Just help your community and do things that are beneficial, that are valuable for the community.
Have a canned food drive.
That's exactly right.
You know what? Put a box out for Toys for Tots.
Yeah. Or even look, have people drive through the parking lot and collect them. I mean, you can do. There's 1,000 things you can do.
Initiatives that are great for the community.
Absolutely.
That
And
you can say, look what we do as part of our efforts to improve our communities.
But instead, Cracker Barrel was like, hey, how do we get naked dudes to shake their butts in kids' faces? What do you think about that? And you would think.
And there's some woman with 7 other ones that go like, oh, what a great idea.
And huge, thick glasses, because those are mandatory.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's really not.
You know what's going to happen? We'll then have like an entire group of LGBTQ that'll show up at our restaurants all the time. And they'll actually start coming to have breakfast with us after church.
It was never about the logo.
It was never about the logo. It was about hating on your current clientele.
Exactly right.
And driving them away.
I wanted to bring up something because we discussed this so much this week.
It's part of my $7 million right here.
Right? The fact that Donald Trump, he knew exactly what he was doing when he put the National Guard in Washington, D.C., had the authority to do it. He's still threatening to send the National Guard to Chicago. And look, there's all kinds of cities that could use the help. Kathy Hochul, she got the message, though. She was listening to Trump. She knows exactly what Trump wants to do, and she wants to prevent it, Los. She, when asked about the crime in the city, she pushed back on Donald Trump, which you would expect. But listen to the change of tone and direction that she takes about what is being done in the legal system. When we talk about people that are being run in and get arrested 3 or 4 times, let go within an hour, she's actually calling out the judges, saying they need to do their job to make sure crime stays in check.
Many of the cases were bail eligible, but guess what? The judge decided to do something differently than what the prosecutors had asked for, rightfully under the law. So I think the question I have is, come on, judges, you're doing your part here. I need the judges to step up. And I've been surprised at the number of judges who don't seem to know the law has changed. When I read commentary from them on why they did not hold someone on bail who common sense would have said should have been held, but also our laws say should have been held. And so I think there's also a lot of questions that I've had for a long time.
I love hearing her like a dog on ice, because she knows Donald Trump is looking down her neck. And when's the last time she called out the judges? Has she ever called out the judges? I would contend she's never done it. I've never heard it.
It's wonderful pressure. That's the issue that is going on. We talked about how D.C. was going to be this beacon for every other big city Democrat community where they had crime. And it was going to be an example of, you can turn this thing around in 10 days if you choose to. And so you now have the governor of one of the biggest states in the country calling for judges to actually incarcerate or to hold on to criminals rather than just turn them loose.
Blue state governors.
Because she knows it works.
Absolutely she does. And she's seen it, and everybody else has seen it in Washington, D.C.
Was there anything more damning to a lot of these communities, coming out of everything BLM, than cashless bail and turning people loose? Because you created a situation almost like with a child. If you let the child get away with whatever, you can say, hey, to stop that, and it won't matter until you punish a child. Take away their phone, tell them they can't go to certain places, none of this dessert. You don't reinforce that this is doing something you're not supposed to. We had in this country for the better part of 5 years was Well, if you happen to punish them, that makes you racist.
Right.
And the Democrats fully bought into it.
And then they would blame the victims of the crimes. Well, it's partially their fault.
Well,
no, it's not.
I wasn't aware that victim blaming was like the way to go.
But they sure
But that's what they turned it into.
For the last 5 years. But isn't it good, though, knowing that she doesn't believe anything she says? She's actually a little bit taking a play out of your book. Yeah. When you say, tell them what you're supposed to be doing and not really deliver. I don't believe that she's going to deliver on any of it.
No, but at least she publicly is having to now sound the alarm. Donald Trump set a trap for him. You actually have Democrats arguing on the side of criminals.
Brandon Johnson doing it. You've seen Muriel Bowser do it.
You know, if you start locking up these people, that's racist. Well, maybe we need a little racism in some of these places where the community is saying it is not showing up. You can tell me all about the crime statistics not going well. And residents in high crime areas, like, I don't care if you call it racism. Like, let's get these people off the streets.
There was a lady who was interviewed by CNN, and they asked her what she thought. You know, do you feel intimidated by the National Guard? And she's like, no, not at all. I'm glad they're here. They thought they had a woman that was going to give them the soundbite that the Democrats and CNN could run with forever, and it blew up in their face.
It keeps happening every time you go into these communities. What is happening is they have to find white liberals from suburbia to go interview, and they are always the older cat lady or the very effeminate male. If you talk to anyone who actually lives in these communities, men or women, they're all saying the same things. They appreciate Donald Trump and the extra support they're getting from law enforcement.
Would you appreciate it if you lived in a community where you were scared to go outside after a certain hour? Would you appreciate more security there? I think it's a common sense answer. And I don't know anybody that would say no, because of course you would.
If you had to walk past National Guardsmen on the street, would that bother you? Because it wouldn't me.
Not if it was cleaning up the crime. Not if it was fixing the situation that had been left unfixed for generations. No.
I can think about what old school Buckhead was and how much fun that was. And then when you had the crime element that ran into it, it turned into, you couldn't just move from one bar to the next or walk down the street anymore. Like, I would have loved to have that back. Maybe they wouldn't have tried to make it the Rodeo Drive of the South if it had more law enforcement in the area.
And then Buckhead was so fed up with it that they decided they're going to be their own city, like Beverly Hills did. I mean, that's the reason Beverly Hills became its own city. That's why L.A. surrounds Beverly Hills, because they had the same issue and they wanted to get it fixed. When we continue on Extra 106.3, the mayor of Chicago avoids the questions from friendly MSNBC. Next on Extra.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
If your home is a little bit older, like my home is, we had to get new windows. It was something that needed to be done, because we wanted the energy efficiency, but we wanted the facelift that gave our home too. We wanted to be able to open our windows, especially on days like today when it's absolutely gorgeous. When your AC isn't going to turn on and off, man, you can just open it up, get that fresh air in there. So it kills two birds with one stone: energy efficiency and the facelift. That way, when you pull into the driveway, that home that you bought and that you love, it has that look of the day you bought it. You know, when you're so proud of it, it's that kind of facelift that you'll get. But you can also do that with siding. You can do that with new gutters. You can do that with new doors. The roof, get that replaced. Man, everything you do to your home, not only is it going to make it more beautiful, not only is it going to make it more energy efficient, but it is also going to increase the value. So it's an investment into your biggest asset, your home. Southern Exteriors is who you should call. Quality and precision you can rely on. Right now, 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any project, no matter how big. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. The big question for many of our listeners as they approach retirement is, will I be okay in retirement? Sean, how do you help someone figure out if they've saved enough to be comfortable?
Great question. There's a lot of different aspects to this, but the biggest thing is looking at risk. Look, there's a lot of different risks to your money, like market risk. There's healthcare costs, inflation, and taxes. All those need to be accounted for. Many people worry if they've saved enough. Am I going to outlive my money? Strategies to help preserve your wealth can be more important than the dollar amount that you saved. Get an analysis of your situation to help you get that clarity that you need.
Tell us about the offer you have for listeners.
If you're worried about if you'll be okay for retirement, you probably don't have a plan. You might not even know what I mean when I'm talking about, do you have a retirement plan? Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit, and you can get that by calling or texting WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped me put this thing together just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters from everything from investments to Social Security, income planning, and has other guides that go along with it as well, with some checklists in regards to all those different strategies and topics as well. So if you want to get that information in your hands today, call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Like Sean said, just text WISE to 770-802-2200. The team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Los. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I'm looking for a reliable vehicle, something for the family, but also for my daughter who's going to be driving soon. Why should I call you?
The main thing is you get to see it's a full transparency sale. What I like to do is show you the whole gamut, show you everything that's out there and everything that's available. I can get any make, any year, any model.
Financing. If I need to use it, what can you offer?
We have some of the best banks available, and we got rates starting at 4.99 from a 23 model and above. It could be a 14 model. We still have banks that will do all the financing for you at good rates, and they're primary banks. If you have credit issues, we still have banks that can accommodate those issues as well.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Medical College of Georgia cut the ribbon on its new campus in Marietta at Wellstar Kennestone. Dr. David Hess, the dean of the college, said this first regional campus will create a pipeline for more doctors to stay in Georgia. 24 students will learn and train at this location. More regional facilities are being planned. Georgia law enforcement is teaming up with neighboring states ahead of Labor Day weekend on the roads. The 34th Hands Across the Border campaign brings agencies together from Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee to crack down on drunk driving, speeding, distracted driving, and other violations. Powell Harrelson with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says the cross-state partnership helps save lives and increases accountability. And the FBI office in Atlanta says agents and partners with the Safe Streets Gang Task Force are carrying out arrests of suspected gang members across metro Atlanta and Athens. The operation is dubbed Summer Heat. Officials describe it as part of an ongoing effort to dismantle gangs, reduce violent crime, and restore safety in communities across Georgia. Today's weather's sunny and cool, starting in the 50s and warming up to the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. The juices are flowing this morning with creativity and things that could be to come in the near future on the Morning Extra.
What's wrong with your face, man? I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, we were going through this old ad campaign where you needed to be able to recognize people's the fact that they're having a stroke.
The signs of a stroke.
Because they couldn't tell you.
And the ad campaign that was from the government was the person would keep saying, like, hey, you seem to be kind of slumped over. And the person in response was, I'm having a stroke.
Right.
And so that's what the whole ad was, that be able to recognize the signs of a stroke.
Right.
Then we started adding stuff onto it. And let's just say that it's given us some weird ideas that might be very abrasive, and I think it'll be fun to venture into.
And really funny.
Yeah.
Really abrasive. Really funny. So if you've got a good sense of humor, stick around.
Yeah.
And if you're offended easily,
stick around.
Write your congressman.
That's right. Look, they all begged to come on the show, so they're in our camp.
Well, not after this next bit.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, no, I'm telling you, it's a genius bit. It's really funny. It probably hasn't been done around here for about 7 or 8 years, and I think it's important right now because one of the things that we've been doing is we've been highlighting what people in the community, such as in D.C. or Chicago, are saying about law enforcement, about, I want more law enforcement.
Yeah,
I want to be safer in my community.
Yeah.
Man, when you go on X and you read some of the things that are being pointed out by the community, it's hilarious.
It is hysterical.
So funny.
And it's so available, too.
Yes.
It's not like you have to look very hard.
No, the media's just ignoring it.
That's right. Of course they are, because that's what they do. That's why alternative media has exploded. And people like Matt Taibbi and Catherine Herridge and all these great reporters, that they are even going, in many cases, going against their own political beliefs to expose what is really happening in Washington, D.C., from Russiagate to Fauci and the COVID vax and the COVID virus altogether. Some of these things that you wouldn't believe unless you listen to shows like this. If you listen to the mainstream media, you're getting the narrative, man. That's all you're getting. So that's why shows like ours have blown up, and we're so grateful that you spend time with us the way you do. But we're grateful for those independent journalists.
Really great note that I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast. It was just a little reminder about the average age groups. Average age group that is consuming cable news right now is 70 years old. All right, so that's my parents, your parents. That's who it is.
Yep.
When it comes to radio, it's 58. But here's the other important part, because there's a reason why we make everything available through YouTube and through podcast. Average age of people that are consuming media in that regard is 34 years old. So you want to talk about the difference in how people are seeing things and what kind of information is getting to them. You know, if you're watching cable news, you're not getting a lot of Matt Taibbi.
No, nobody's putting him on.
Catherine Herridge, you're not getting that stuff.
Fox got rid of her.
Right.
CNN, either she left or they got rid of her. It may have been a mutual separation, but there was definitely a separation. She left not under the greatest of terms.
Whereas the radio podcast world is delivering all this stuff to you, and you're consuming large amounts of it. So again, I love me, the 70-year-old. At the same time, there's a reason why that age group is skewing so much further left, whereas the younger age groups are going the opposite direction.
When you see those protests and it looks like your grandparents out there, or maybe if you are a grandparent, it looks like you out there, you're listening and consuming a different content than those people that are out there protesting. You have escaped. You've gotten away from whatever it is that sets them in motion, and it's usually mainstream media.
Before we jump into the Chicago politics, did you have a cigarette yesterday?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Like it finally happened, like in celebration. Did you open up a bottle? Did you say, "Man, we're finally marrying off Taylor Swift"? Because to see the amount of media that went nuts over this, I looked at it and went, "Oh, look, her and Travis Kelce got engaged."
Same here.
And I kept it moving.
But I was mad.
Crazy.
I was angry.
Why?
Who cares?
I didn't find out about it until like 8 or 9 o'clock. So I wasn't staring at my phone.
Did you? Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, if you looked at any media, you would have seen it. Any
Krispy
media.
Kreme gave away donuts for 2 hours from 5 to 7, and I didn't get one.
Dude, I even posted this because
Yeah, I saw your
it was nothing. Business Insider, The Athletic, Fox News, Entertainment Weekly, Yahoo Sports, Billboard, People Magazine. Every notification on my phone was Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, with the exception of one that said probiotics are really good. But everything else.
That's why I was curious if you were like, "Oh, we finally did it." And you just had to light one up.
No, I'm happy for them. Good, that's great.
Good for those. Good for those kids.
It doesn't interest me necessarily.
No, it doesn't do anything for me.
My wife was interested in the ring. That's the thing that she was most interested in, and that thing was gigantic. I don't know if you saw
it was huge.
Good heavens. I mean, that thing was the size of a golf ball. It's huge.
I just wanted to make sure that for a radio show that's in politics that talks about Taylor Swift more than anyone else, we had to make sure that we got in the fact that she's now engaged to Travis Kelce.
Tay-Tay. And when they announced it, they said the English teacher marrying the gym teacher, which I did think was kind of cute, kind of funny. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Again, I'm happy for. And when Donald Trump was asked, they're like, "What do you think?"
He's like, "Good for those kids.
Good for those kids, man." He knows what to say. He knows when to pour gas on the fire.
Yeah.
He knows when to say the right thing.
He kept it fun.
Absolutely, and lighthearted. And knowing Taylor Swift does not like him.
No, not at all.
It didn't matter.
It didn't hurt her brand. To come out and start doing all the political stuff.
Because her brand is 24-year-old girls and younger.
And they're not all that concerned.
Yeah, they're not dialed in.
Although I will say that there was quite a few number of housefrows that were like, yeah, me and Taylor, our politics agree. She's now my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. It actually probably helped her a little bit.
It might have helped in that regard.
Some streams or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Travis Kelce, good for them. I heard Travis Kelce's dad talk about how happy he's been in the last,
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years or so.
3 years they've been together.
And he was like, it's all because of Taylor. He's like, it's just young kids in love. They're great for each other.
A few Super Bowls will do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's got a lot of things going in his direction. And
he's got a lot of W's going his way.
For sure. And Taylor's a sweet girl, and she's a pretty girl.
Outside of the vaccine ads.
Yeah.
Not everybody handles the business the way I would.
Yeah, right. We were able to turn it down. But maybe the amount they offered us versus the amount they offered him is probably astronomically different.
He got $80 million for those commercials.
You can't. There's no way.
I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure it's a $80 million deal for
There's
Pfizer.
no way.
That seems like a lot.
That's like that's like quarterback money. You're telling me he got like half of a quarterback contract to do Pfizer ads?
It was something obscene.
I would be surprised. I would be very surprised. I would imagine that they probably had an $80 million campaign because they had him and John Legend and Martha Stewart and anybody and everybody. They were like, "Here, act like you got this."
You're right. $20 million.
It's still big money.
Significant.
It would sway. But if you're him, why would that amount of money sway you? I mean, was it prior to him? Was that prior to the Super Bowls? Is that prior to his big contracts?
No.
So it was just, hey, I'm going to pad with $20 billion.
And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Travis Kelce's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
like he's that good
he's
of a player. Yeah. So this isn't hey, he glommed on to Taylor Swift. I was like, no, he was already going to the Hall of Fame, got plenty of money and the personality and everything else.
And then when you look at the amount of attention that Taylor Swift brought to the NFL with girls from like 15 to 24 or whatever the number, the demo was, it was like $1 billion of free advertising. When they break it out, it was like $1 billion of free advertising for the NFL.
And if you want one of the funniest moments that you'll find, go to YouTube, go to your Google machine, type in Travis Kelce, or actually Kelce Brothers, you'll probably have better luck, and Bill Murray. That is one of the funniest interviews that you will see where Bill Murray deadpan. They ask him about, hey, is it true that your friend ended up, a friend of his married a woman who she's the lead actress in the movie Roadhouse. It's like, is it true that you call your friend every single time Roadhouse is on?
Oh, yeah.
And his explanation.
Dude, is glorious.
Deadpan, amazing, hilarious. And both the Kelce's are like dying laughing the entire time.
It's hysterical. Absolutely right. That's
Speaking of things on YouTube, we had a caller, David, who's up in Lawrenceville making some barbecue today.
Sweet, David.
YouTube
Keep it working.
He celebrated 20 years this year.
Oh, good.
Last week, as a matter of fact.
He would say you had brought up the old PSA about having a stroke.
I'm having a stroke.
He reminded us of this commercial. See if y'all remember it.
On the Morning Xtra. That's quite a build up. And sorry,
we'll
David.
continue on. We'll pick it back up later.
Yeah. It's interesting when you get ready to pull the rabbit out of the hat. There's no rabbit.
That's right. Darn.
That's the real magic.
Yeah, that's right. The clown show in Chicago is
I'd like
real.
to say hello to the audio fun bag for later on.
Yes, right.
I'm going to make a little notation.
I-680 audience.
Yeah, when we do the extra version of the fun bag.
It's going to go ahead and submit this for 7:38.
Yeah,
all right.
That's right. On MSNBC, it is friendly, so very friendly to Democrats. I mean, that's the brand that they've built. And look, that's, to be honest, the brand that they're moving away from. And it's very surprising when MSNBC asks the tough question of a Democrat, but they did. And Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, he was having none of it.
You can count it in your head. This is 5 times that Joe Scarborough asked a very simple question. And Brandon Johnson, when asked a very simple question, does the deflection game. How many times can you possibly deflect from a very simple question?
I'm curious, would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago?
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach.
I'm not.
We've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
Yes, it is.
5 times he was asked the same question, and he continued to deflect and turn it into, well, if we had all these other programs, and Joe Scarborough, you could just see just the tiredness on just tired head going, all right, let's assume you already have all these other programs. They've all been funded. Would 5,000 more police officers help you with your problem?
And then the spin just continued. He never expected to get asked that question on Morning Joe. And maybe, to the credit, maybe because of the switching of the branding and all that, they're allowing people to ask difficult questions when they weren't allowed to before. Maybe that's it. But he was never expected to ask that question, to be asked that question.
I always point this out. When I say that if you didn't create Donald Trump, you can't take him down, right? That's if they didn't make you, they can't break you. The problem is you have so many of these mayors in these cities that were born made of BLM.
Dude, Kamala Harris is another example of it.
They can never talk about more police because they built their entire brands on less police, less persecution, less people in the industrial complex of prisons. That's what they ran on. They can never go down the road that more police make communities safer.
Even if it's true.
Even if it's 100% true. That is the problem. Again, you're going against a religion.
Asking someone to disavow their religion is never going to happen. Ever. And they won't disavow their religion of government. when we continue on Extra 106.3, step by step on how to destroy your business. 7 o'clock hour brought to you by Van Sant Law Group. If you're in an accident, make the right call, vansantlaw.com.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Atlanta Braves took the second game of their 3-game series against the Marlins in Miami last night, blowing them out late 11-2. The Braves scored 9 runs in the 9th inning to make the final inning a laugher. Today, the rubber game features a live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons made a move to help out with the injuries on their offensive line yesterday, as the team sent a conditional 7th-round draft choice to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for tackle Michael Jarrell. The Falcons will start the season without their starting right tackle Caleb McGarry and his primary backup. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Okay, so you went online looking for the best windows and siding company in Atlanta, and now you're knee-deep in ads, fake reviews, and algorithms and junk. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? I'm going to help you cut through all that, Josh. When it comes to windows and siding, especially, the folks you want are the pros at Peach State Windows. I've known the owner, Jeff, and his lovely bride for more than 25 years when I first worked with him. Here's the deal. Jeff and his top-notch crews have been serving Atlanta for almost 50 years. That's a lot of windows, a whole lot of siding, too. In fact, it should be Peach State Windows and so much more. A whole bunch of happy customers, not some fly-by-night deal with cookie-cutter deals and mystery vendors from Lord knows where they get their stuff. Jeff's company built on integrity, quality, craftsmanship, not some slick marketing gimmick. Strong relationships with their top vendors means there are deals all over the place, and the best material and the best tech and the best price for your home. Whether you're looking for looks and function, age, energy efficiency, skip the gimmicks, go right to the trusted name in the Peach State Windows, and so much more. PeachStateWindows.com.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find local voices, familiar faces, and community businesses like Bubalo Medical.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Bubalo, and for 24 years, we've helped Atlanta look better, feel better, and perform their best. Our clinics provide expert care in weight loss, hair restoration, testosterone therapy, intimate health, and with our Bubalo Care membership, our patients gain access to at-cost medical services, advanced peptides, biological age tracking, and so much more. Want to know how fast you're really aging and how to turn back the clock? Give us a call at 404-998-4194 or visit mybioage.org to get started. That's mybioage.org.
Friends, it's time to take charge of your health and focus on you. There's no better time than now. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
When you buy a Subaru from Subaru of Gwinnett, you're buying more than a vehicle. You're buying safety for your family and something that will last a long, long time. In other words, you're buying trust. For a limited time, you can celebrate amazing offers on the all-new Forester, Crosstrek, or Outback during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through September 2nd. And you'll love more than just your new Subaru. You'll love the dedicated staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. With some of the best service specials in the area and a team you know you can trust, you'll ride with peace of mind knowing that Subaru of Gwinnett has your back. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you'll find the Subaru model you've always dreamed about at a price that makes that dream come true. But you need to get in by September 2nd to take advantage. We'll make it easy. Just start with the test drive, and before you know it, you'll be in the Subaru you love. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com, then stop by on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth. SubaruofGwinnett.com.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage. We do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Xtra 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. There's an easy step-by-step process of dismantling your business. Cracker Barrel, they followed it seemingly perfectly. If you're picking out companies to use the example of.
Foxbusiness.com, amazing story. You will find this. This is the author of this is Azra Nomani. And the headline is Cracker Barrel CEO dismissed warnings from a top investor who called the rebranding obvious folly. Now, this ends up being focused on Sardar Biglari. And he's a big investor into a number of different companies. He's got a holding company, and that's where he decides where the money from his firm is heading to. And one of them was Cracker Barrel. And when he started to get wind of what was going on with the new CEO, he has the quote that showed up. And this was from, just so you know where we're going back to, May of 2024. The new CEO, Massino, she ends up letting the board know and letting the investors know. Quote, they have hired a branding agency to, quote, refine and strengthen positioning to delight existing and new guests. The other pillars included enhancing the menu, evolving the store and guest experience, and winning in digital and off-premise, and evaluating the employee experience. And as it says, this large investor, Biglari, didn't buy it, was like, this is corporate gobbledygook. That's the word he called it, gobbledygook.
I've heard that before.
This is when they started to go down, and this man warned them 3 different times. As the article points out, not only did he have like this 11-page memo, but then he had a 120-slide presentation of what we're doing wrong here.
Came prepared.
Wasn't just pointing out, hey, this is a bad idea. And as he was pointing out in the article, and as it's kind of positioned against him, they recognized him as a Trump supporter and a Trump voter, which is why they didn't listen to him.
Of course, because that would discredit anybody, right? I mean, you can't support a racist dictator. You can't support a fascist. So that would give you the obvious out, and especially if you're a woke marketing officer, you would hate Donald Trump. So immediately you're going to dismiss this and say, yes, we're going to go this way. We're going to do things the way we want to do. We don't care what you say. We don't care how much you owe, and we don't care what you think about it.
This also, so remember, that was spring 2024. Another warning sign was September of 2024. Within their annual report, they had their diversity, equity, and inclusion section, which featured 7 business resource groups promoting diverse members, Black leaders, Hispanic and Latino culture, LGBTQ plus awareness, military veterans, and women leaders. This was part of that moment when Biglari goes, we are really going off the deep end here.
We are steaming toward a brick wall.
Said he wrote a 7-page letter to shareholders. He warned them about the board's, quote, obvious folly, green lighting Massino, that'd be the CEO, quote, her new transformation plan that you need to be watching out for it. As he also wrote, Cracker Barrel is in perilous times. And he put out the numbers. They had $167 million in operating income on revenues of $2.4 billion. So $167 million in operating income. By 2023, it was $1.4 billion in cumulative capital expenditures. Operating income had fallen to $121 million, even as revenues went up. The revenues went up by $1 billion, yet they lost $46 billion in operating income.
That's the way to tear a business apart and shred it. And the thing is,
you made more money
and you still lost.
You ended up losing money.
So it all boils down to behind the scenes. Please don't believe that it was ever about the logo. It It was never about the logo. It was about the DEI practices that were going on in the back end of what Cracker Barrel was doing. And that is still going on. Believe me, that is still going. Robbie Starbuck, at Robbie Starbuck, a guy that lives in Nashville, he's been following this super closely. He said, for a moment, I thought they took down their DEI pages on the Cracker Barrel website. I was wrong. They just moved them. So when you go to the Cracker Barrel page, it isn't where it used to be. That's the only difference. The DEI woke nonsense at Cracker Barrel continues today. They're hoping, they're praying that you see the old logo back up there or it not being changed at all, and you're like, oh, I'm satisfied. Everything is good, because it's not.
Siglari ends up pointing out, he said the transformation was a mistake. And he said it was misguided executives falling into a, quote, textbook trap of overspending on cosmetic remodeling. That you changed the store, but you didn't address the problem of butts and seats. And you thought you could change the butts and seats by using political ideology to think if we just go more gay, we'll get more people to show up here.
And it didn't work. And it hasn't worked. It won't work. That's the easy part. That's the part that, look, we've already offered the Democrats to fix their brand. Maybe we should extend this to Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel, this price is $7 million.
That's right. Give us a call. Throw out, what's her name? Sarah, whatever it is.
Yeah, Massino.
Yeah, throw her out, and Los and I will take over. We'll fix this brand for you.
The problem always goes back to, like, the first initiative, the first idea that any of these woke CEOs always has is, well, let's get LGBTQ plus involved. It's food, man.
Yeah.
Food is good to everybody. Make sure that the food and the experience is nice, and it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. You're going to go to Cracker Barrel. That's it. That's all. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's really simple.
And guess what? Try to get them to come back twice in a week. Not once.
How about that? Yeah.
Twice in a week. And you're not going to do it by, hey, maybe we should have a beanbag tournament over and feature grown men shaking their booties dressed as women to kids.
Yeah, that's going to turn people off. The whole dudes dressed up as women thing, that's not going to work for any organization.
But yeah, to read this story, again, foxbusiness.com, you go through what the warning signs were from a primary investor that what they were doing wrong every step of the way. It wasn't just one warning, just didn't happen. This has been going on a better part of 2 years.
Bud Light, Star Wars, Cracker Barrel. What did they do? Hired woke white women. And what happened? They failed and continue to fail. We can fix it for you. Los and I can do it.
Go woke.
Go broke. This is the Morning Extra, Extra 106.3 when we come back after a Fox News update and a Neil Bortz report. If you worry about our national debt, Scott Besson has some extraordinary news for you next on Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Conspiracy theories. Hey, I'm no stranger to conspiracy theories. I'm the guy on the radio that said dolphins had swum up the torpedo tubes of a nuclear submarine and they were going to nuke Los Angeles. But I followed that radio show with 2 words: April Fools. But the conspiracy theories today are just ridiculous. Who are the idiots that buy into these things? First and foremost, the earth is flat. No, seriously. If you're on Facebook, look up some of the flat earth Facebook pages. The earth is flat. It's surrounded by a wall of ice and covered by a dome. The sun is only 4,000 miles away. How do they know this? It's all in the Bible. The firmament in the Bible is actually that glass dome over the flat earth. We call them flurfs. Here's a new one. That teacher from New England that died in the Challenger disaster, oh, she's not dead. She's now a professor in a law school up there in New England. The whole Challenger thing was faked. How do we know? Because the earth is flat. That's how we know. Those condensation trails that jet airliners leave, those are chemtrails. They're chemicals that the government is putting in the air to poison us and control us. There was never a moon landing. It was faked. All of the pictures of Earth taken from space, they're fake. Try this one. Birds aren't real. They're actually small drones being operated by the government to keep an eye on us. No, not kidding. The trouble with these things is that people actually believe them. And if they will believe those, they'll believe slanderous lies like Alex Jones and school shootings. And 9/11 was an inside job. Come on, folks, do some homework. Don't let idiots with internet connections steer you into this insanity. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Is there any other leader in the world history that you have ever heard of who's anything like what Donald Trump has been doing and be able to accomplish?
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Capital punishment in the Capitol. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News. D.C. logged its first homicide in nearly 2 weeks, and President Trump's crime crackdown continues. Now it could mean the death penalty.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol, capital punishment, capital punishment.
Fox's Kevin Cork.
President Trump weaving in and out of various cabinet reports and the like. He remains laser focused on cleaning up the crime problem in the nation's capital, calling for the reinstatement of the death penalty for murder cases in this city. The president's comments coming amid his administration's efforts to reduce crime in D.C., one that's already seen over 1,000 arrests since August the 7th, 8 known gang members, including members of MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, the recovery of 2 missing children, and, of course, the seizure of more than 110 firearms.
Now, Washington, D.C. does not have the death penalty, but the Trump administration has been pushing police to charge suspects with federal crimes, some of which do carry the death penalty. And President Trump says he's ready for a court fight over his firing of the Federal Reserve governor.
The president says he's not concerned about a lawsuit to block his removal of Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve Board.
We need people that are 100% above board, and it doesn't seem like she was.
President Trump says he has cause to fire Cook because of an allegation of mortgage fraud from the Federal Housing Finance Agency.
She seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction, especially that infraction.
The president denies his action is related to Cook joining a majority of board members opposed to an interest rate reduction. Her attorney calls the firing unlawful. A statement from the Federal Reserve notes the board's independence, but says it will abide by any court order. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Now, Cook's lawyer says they're filing a lawsuit to challenge that firing. America's listening to Fox News.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
No traffic, no big deal. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. It's been a big day. We've covered the heavy politics. We've covered the engagement of the English teacher and the gym teacher, and the demise of Cracker Barrel, and how they could save themselves, because it was never about the logo. It's about the DEI nonsense that continues to this moment. Please do not be misled. Please do not believe it was about the logo, but that's what you're going to see on every news channel. They revert to the old logo after the backlash. It was never the logo. It was what's happening behind the scenes and what's still happening behind the scenes, the woke DEI nonsense.
We gave you some Neil Bortz. We covered some crime, economy. This is like so far.
We've covered the gamut. We've covered it pretty well.
Coming up, if we're talking about like college football, like one of the best things you can do is give someone a 40 burger, or what's more filling, a 50 burger. One of my favorite things from Barry Switzer, the old Cowboys coach and old coach over at Oklahoma, when they'd always ask Barry Switzer when he was coaching over there, it's like, Barry, what are y'all planning to do this week? He'd always say the same thing: hang half 100.
Attaboy. God, it's so good.
Hang half 100. I'm like, we're gonna score 50 on you. I'm like, I feel like in the first 2 hours, Dre, we might have. At least it's a 40 burger.
We got close.
We're getting close to maybe the long 2 hours to finish up. Maybe we can hang half 100 and get to a 50 burger.
I don't know who your college football team is, you listening right now, but how awesome would it be to hear your coach say that? The coach that you cheer for, the team you cheer for, what y'all going to do today? Half 100?
Hang half 100?
And just walk out? Dude, that's the swagger I want out of my head coach. You know, out of the guy that I pull for, out of the team that I pull for. Gosh, if they made T-shirts, that's great.
How is that?
That's
hang half 100 on them.
Fantastic. Switzer. Yes, I love that. Yes, and it's like Kirby when, and not everybody's a Georgia fan, but I think you'll appreciate where I'm coming from. And if your coach would have said it, you would have been like, "Yep, that's what I want my coach to say." I remember Kirby is being asked about the team, and he hit him with a, "How about them Evan dogs?" Dude, I almost fell out. I was like, yes, sir. I would run through a wall for that man.
So my wife found a shirt that she wants to buy. Now, she says she can't wear it around the kids.
Okay.
But I am going to get it for Christmas for her. If you would like to take a look at that and you want to read it in the best way you can.
F Dallas and them...
you can say the rest.
Ho-A Eagles.
F Dallas and them ho-ass Eagles.
I mean, that is bold.
That's pretty funny. Like, I saw it and I went,
hysterical.
That's funny. F Dallas and them ho-ass Eagles.
I don't like either one of them. I need to get me a UGA one like that. But the problem was I would have to narrow down who would be on there.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Northwest Georgia, and Tennessee's a rival of Georgia, and it's been in the last 50. They've only been playing for 50 years. You got to think about it.
It's not like playing Auburn.
Yeah, they've been playing for 125 years or whatever it is. So I guess if you're putting teams on there, it'd have to be Florida and Auburn. That'd be my guess. But you can call and correct me.
It hasn't been competitive in years, but you can throw Tech on there just because they're in-state little brother.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's it.
Okay, last year was such a great game.
No, it was. Oh my God.
And such like a rebranding of old-fashioned hate. Like it was back. It played well. But it hasn't been like that since the days of Harrison Butker and Mark Richt on the sidelines. That was the last time where I went, wow, Tech got him in Athens. It's different too. Florida, it's now one victory in like the last 6 years. Mm-hmm. Auburn has just been, going through transitional, situations.
Yeah, they've been struggling.
Man, at this point, your sights are now different. Like we used to, when you were a Georgia, fan for years, you always knew you're going to lose the weird game. It was going to be like Connor Shaw in South Carolina going to beat you. Like something weird.
Or Vandy slip up on you on homecoming.
You're going to have something weird like that happen. Yeah. Now everything's turned into, when do you play Alabama? When do you catch whoever's good on the road? And then what happens in the SEC championship game of the playoffs? It makes it really hard to get that shirt that says, hey, Auburn.
Yeah.
Hey, Tech. Hey, Florida.
Yeah, it would. But if you're a longtime Georgia fan, I think if I'm choosing Georgia rivals, it would have to be Auburn and Florida, the oranges. I don't like the oranges. But if you're a Georgia Tech fan, I mean, I would imagine Georgia's going to lead on there
first and foremost.
And then who else is their big rival? Georgia Tech.
Well, that's kind of the challenge of this.
Yeah.
Because if you just look at ACC play, like I would say, if you were saying I'm going to play somebody regularly and I want to beat them, I want to beat Clemson.
Clemson, yeah,
because I want to be able to say I want it in conference, I want it in the region, I want to beat you.
And that's the big game this year for them.
And they've played some huge games over the years with Clemson.
And if you're looking at Tech's schedule right now, you look at Clemson, that game, and then the Georgia game. Those are the two games that you got to get past if you want to make a bit of a run. And look, they're just outside of the top 25.
Yeah, they're other receiving votes right now.
Absolutely right.
So good for them.
Yeah,
they're basically a top 30 team in the country right now.
I like it when Georgia Tech is good.
You know what I think is going to happen on Friday night?
Hey, I have 100 on their ass.
That's right.
Georgia Tech's going to take care of Colorado.
I do think so.
That's Barry Switzer, man.
I think that what a great. I'd forgotten about it. I remember hearing that, but I didn't know that it was beloved like it is.
It is.
Like for me, HBTFD, like that's beloved. I have a T-shirt with it on there.
I have a GATA Georgia shirt.
Yeah.
And my mom had really no idea. And then when she asked, she was even more confused.
Yeah.
It's like I had to kind of explain the origins of that.
Yeah, right. So good. So good. So, like you said, we've covered the gambit this morning. If there's anything that we're missing that you would like for us to talk about or you would like to engage in discussion with us, 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms.
And you get a holiday weekend coming up.
Heck yes.
It's good. It's good all the way around.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We don't really have any plans. Some friends have invited us up to the lake, so we may go up there on Sunday for a little while and hang out if everything works out. And I know my youngin's going to go over to Athens to the Georgia Marshall game, and that's another benefit for him from coming from Charleston over to Augusta University. He's like, man,
it's a little bit easier.
I'm like hour 15 from Athens.
Yeah, not bad.
That's where all my buds are. I'm going there.
Not bad at all. Hour
Again,
up the road.
It's 2 weekends in a row though, Los. The kid that that has a credit card that's attached to my account, he comes home, hangs out with his buds, eats, lets mom and dad feed him, and then drops off the laundry and then goes and
see you, old man.
Yeah, I got nothing for you guys. Which it's good. Somebody had, and you'll run into this. You're not there yet. You're going to get there though, and I'm sure you've thought about it. A friend of ours posted, and it was one of those kind of reflective moments. And she said, it breaks your heart knowing that you're raising your kids to not need you anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was the one. When I read it, though, it put a lump in my throat. It was just one of those moments where you want them peeling away. You want them being self-sufficient.
If you do a good job, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that it hurts a little bit. Because you want to spend that time with them. And he's 21 now, so he's been pulling away for, I don't know, nearly 10 years. But it is. It's one of those things that's really challenging, and I think most people can relate to that. You've raised them, and now they're able to be independent, and it breaks your heart, but you're so proud of them at the same time.
Well, as I get a text message from my wife telling me that the 11-year-old is very emotional and an emotional nightmare this morning, and I'm like, yeah, she still needs us. We're good.
Oh, yeah. 11, yeah, you still got some time.
We're good here. We got a little while longer.
Yeah, that's right. And you got a bunch of games tonight?
Yeah, they got two matchups tonight. We'll see.
Be fun. It absolutely will. You've been worried about spending too much money. And I'm not talking about on sports because we all do that too, whether it's your kids' sports or going to sporting events. But the deficit's been such an issue and it's such a point of conversation on this show. We've talked about it for a really long time. And Rich McCormick, Dr. Rich McCormick, 7th District U.S. Representative here in Georgia, comes on and when he does, he talks about, hey, we've got to get this spending under control. And he's right, we do. We absolutely do. But Scott Bessent shared that the deficit is really, really lower than it was even a year ago. And then I want you to listen for, there's two things to listen for in this cut when he speaks. The percentage that the deficit is down from a year ago and how much revenue is coming in off the tariffs that everybody said was going to be detrimental to the United States.
And I think we're going to see a bigger jump from August to September. So I think we could be on our way well over $500 billion, maybe towards the $1 trillion number. This administration, your administration, has made a meaningful dent in the budget deficit. The average budget deficit during this term is 26% less than the last 12 months under Biden. And even the CBO, and we don't agree with CBO on everything, as you said, last Friday, on a summer Friday, had to admit that they believe over the next 10 years, the budget deficit will be $4 trillion lower than they had previously scored. $4 trillion, $3.3 trillion of tariff income, $700 billion of lower interest costs, and I would expect that number could go up from here.
Dude is unbelievable. These numbers are astronomical. If you are worried about the deficit, as we are too, hearing this has to be so encouraging. And I would love to get, when Dr. Rich comes back on, to get his reaction to that, to know that we're trending in such a good direction.
This is the only way that we can maintain if we, and I can't stand how this is now turned into, here's the baseline. Our spending was at about $5.7 trillion. COVID hit, we went to $7 trillion, and the Democrats ran with it. They no longer considered it an emergency. That was the new baseline, $7 trillion. And that's how we've seen our debt continue to grow. If the tariff game is bringing in $1 trillion, like if it really is, then suddenly you don't have to start going item by item, line by line, cutting and cutting and cutting. Now, would it be helpful to get the debt faster under control?
Absolutely,
100%. But this is basically found money. This money was always there.
That's the whole point. Is that, and Donald Trump knew it. Scott Bessent knew it. They all gambled on what they believed was going to work. And was it a gamble? You dadgum right it was. But that's what I feel like real leaders do. They're not afraid to make the educated gamble.
They said, the opponents of all of this, all of these tariffs, and as I pointed out, I don't know how this is going to play.
You didn't know.
I was like, I don't know. This has not been regular practice since the early 1900s. The opponents all said it's going to be passed along to the consumer. What the administration bet on was, in order to get access to the American consumer, you won't pass it on to that person. And as it stands right now, outside of a handful of items here and there, they don't pass the price on to you. They don't. They're paying the tariff to get access to the American consumer.
Bessent is my favorite person in the cabinet. As much as I love Pete Hegseth, and I do, Bessent is my favorite because he is he's a ass kicker disguised as like this mild-mannered Treasury Secretary. He's a little bit like Clark Kent, just because I watched that recent Superman movie. He's super mild-mannered, super even-keeled. But then just a killer, boy. He'll put the shank right in your neck if you're a Democrat. If you're a person that is going against him and what he believes, he's not going to be loud about it. He's just going to tell you exactly what he thinks, and then he's going to provide the evidence of it. Love this dude. I think he's great. I think he's great for this.
I really hope that this trend continues. That
Me too.
If you were looking at finding $1 trillion in additional revenue, that's a game changer. And we aren't even really into the point where the big, beautiful bill is going to go into full, we won't feel the real power that it's supposed to create in terms of GDP growth, because that was the goal.
Yeah.
And all I can say at this point is that they've been right about the other things in the economy. I have to give them the benefit of the doubt that what they believe is going to grow GDP is what it'll do, but we'll see.
Yeah, we absolutely
That's the next
one. We've talked about Lisa Cook and the fact that there's new video out there, her calling Donald Trump a fascist. And why does that matter? Because this is supposed to be an independent organization. This is a person that is acting more like the resistance than a Fed governor. And then there's the issue with her and the fact that she has, it would appear on the surface, there's a mortgage fraud issue. Donald Trump has fired her. She has vowed to sue and not leave. But Donald Trump, he's doing something with the Federal Reserve that most people probably don't realize.
Yeah, credit to Molly Hemingway for pointing this out. Once Lisa Cook was able to secure attorneys on her behalf in order to file a lawsuit going at this administration, namely the president, and that you do not have the legal right to fire me from this board. All right. Again, we talked about how nasty it is when Adam Schiff or anyone else out there, Tisha James, who looks like they had mortgage fraud in their past. All right, with Lisa Cook, looks like that's exactly what she did by buying 2 different properties as primary residence, and at least for one of them, never living in it. To know that she's controlling, in part, with the Fed board, interest rates is just really gross. And Molly Hemingway points this out, though. She said, the good news is that we will soon get an official ruling, because it's going to have to go through the courts, on whether the Fed is constitutional and under the executive branch or not. Because structurally, it's set up as another independent arm of government.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a branch. It's just kind of off of the executive branch.
Which is why so many people have a problem with it to begin with.
Right.
Because it controls so much and it's not voted on. There's nothing about it that should be having the power that it does.
So you're going to have the courts have to decide, does the chief executive, the person at the top of the executive branch, have the ability to get rid of the Fed or someone within the Fed? That's what this now opens up. That's going to be the fight. And so as much as Lisa Cook is doing this because I want to hold my job, it's probably a pretty good job.
Probably pays pretty well.
You just opened up so Donald Trump can clean house. And every other chief executive moving forward can clean house based on whatever they believe should be happening in the marketplace.
How many traps has Donald Trump set for people?
It's one after another, man.
We have the Democrats in Chicago and even more so in D.C. cheering on the criminals because Donald Trump is being successful with the National Guard there in D.C. You have Democrats. I had a piece of audio. We're not going to play it, but it was of Kenny Loggins. And he was singing and clapping along, talking about how, we're just fine. Everything's good. He's out there with his pink shirts on and just going against Donald Trump. This is the guy that wrote Danger Zone, man.
Yeah, he did.
And he's out there.
It's an all-timer.
Yeah, it is, but he's out there with a group of other crazies chanting and singing along. Anytime you do anything in unison like that, we pointed out on the show all the time. When you're out there with the crazies doing your songs, you look nuts. And Kenny Loggins looks nuts.
I've checked the Constitution a number of times. I have never seen a fourth branch. So let's see what happens with Lisa Cook, and let's see what trap has now been set.
Kenny Loggins.
It's going to alter some. It's going to have to go through the court system.
I know. Again, trap after trap after trap. And Kenny Loggins found himself into the trap. He's going to be out there. The Fed has found themselves into the trap.
He trapped them.
The Democrats in D.C. found themselves in a trap.
Listen, tried to get rid of Jerome Powell for the better part of a month. He's like, I'll serve until 2026. So let's turn our attention to other places.
Yeah, let's figure out another way. Let's attack this differently.
Let's trap that person.
Thinking out of the box, man.
Right into it.
Out of the box thinking works every time. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com. All the wins that Trump has already racked up are condemned by the DNC. Of course they are. But think about what the wins are and what they're condemning. We'll talk about that next on Extra.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck at noon, and the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. And hang out every night for Jesse Kelly at 6 and Jimmy Fela at 9. And stream it all live in crystal clear HD on the Extra 106.3 app.
Good morning, it's Lowe's. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and the good people over at Howard Brothers. When you're looking for the right tools, the right equipment, and expert advice, well, where do you get that? You get that at Howard Brothers. When you're working on your next project, head on over to Howard Brothers. They've got the brands that you can depend on and the people that know their stuff. You're talking about a company that's been locally owned and who has had people that have been in that building, whichever location you choose to go to, 10, 20, some even 30 years. They are just part of the family at this point. They know their stuff when it comes to any of your yard projects, any other projects that you're working on. Whether it's you're a homeowner or maybe you're a business owner, you got a fleet, they can help you with any of your equipment all across North Georgia with a team that is ready to help. Power, service, hardware, they can help you with all of it. Stop by today or visit howardbrothers.com and find your local one-stop shop for all of your projects. The grass is always greener and the projects are easier when you take care of it with Howard Brothers.
Good morning, Mike. What you eating?
You gotta try this.
I can hear you crunching from the next cube over.
This is amazing. I just discovered it this weekend at Lidl. It's Greek Goddess Gourmet Granola. They were sampling it, so I tried it. Then I bought 6 bags.
Wow. Is it cereal?
Can be. Or an amazing trail mix. It's great for a meal or a snack.
What's in it?
Well, they have 2 flavors, maple oat and harvest nut, which is my favorite. It's made with whole grain oats, almonds, pecans, raisins, coconut, and the sweet taste of pure maple syrup. Maple oat is a simpler take on their delicious granola. It's got wholesome oats, plump raisins, coconut, and maple syrup.
That sounds healthy and delicious.
That's why I can't stop crunching, Susan.
Greek Goddess Gourmet Granola. It's a breakfast or on-the-go snack you can feel good about. It's dairy-free and gluten-free, and with only 2 grams of added sugar per serving, even your belly will love it. Pick some up at Lidl, Amazon, GreekGoddessGourmet.com, or at specialty stores near you.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. At RBM of Atlanta, we embody this definition. Convenience is our middle name. With back to school in full swing and after-school activities taking over all your available time, now more than ever, convenience is a must-have. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for those services. Once the services have been complete, we'll bring your Mercedes-Benz back to you. With over 110 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2025 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor at RBM of Atlanta for details.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, The Trusted Toolbox.
Fox Country.
I'm Michelle Polino. Randy Travis's wife says she never believed her husband would die from his massive stroke, even though that's what the doctors were saying in an interview with Fox News Digital. Mary Travis recalled the moment she refused to give up despite doctors urging her to pull the plug.
That was the moment that I knew that Randy Travis was going to make it, because he squeezed my hand and a tear went down his face. And I said, he's still fighting.
More than a decade later, Travis is still defying the odds. Since his 2013 stroke, he used artificial intelligence to bring his voice back to life. Morgan Wallen ran past curfew in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Now he's paying the price. During his I'm the Problem tour stop at Gillette Stadium August 22nd, Wallen's performance went 14 minutes past the town's 11:30 curfew. The Boston Herald reports the penalty cost 25 cents per fan in attendance. It totaled $15,705. That's Fox Country on Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Medical College of Georgia cut the ribbon on its new campus in Marietta at Wellstar Kennestone. Dr. David Hess, the dean of the college, said this first regional campus will create a pipeline for more doctors to stay in Georgia. 24 students will learn and train at this location. More regional facilities are being planned. Georgia law enforcement is teaming up with neighboring states ahead of Labor Day weekend on the roads. The 34th Hands Across the Border campaign brings agencies together from Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee to crack down on drunk driving, speeding, distracted driving, and other violations. Powell Harrelson with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says the cross-state partnership helps save lives and increases accountability. And the FBI office in Atlanta says agents and partners with the Safe Streets Gang Task Force are carrying out arrests of suspected gang members across metro Atlanta and Athens. The operation is dubbed Summer Heat. Officials describe it as part of an ongoing effort to dismantle gangs, reduce violent crime, and restore safety in communities across Georgia. Today's weather's sunny and cool, starting in the 50s and warming up to the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10, 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. I'm going to get into the things that the DNC are condemning, and I want you to hear them, and then we'll go through some of the things that they, by their statement, have condemned. But I wrote this down because I saw it on Twitter.
Wait, do you want me to be Aunt Peg here, or do you want me to be me?
Well, let's do a little bit of both. That way we have both sides of the coin, like common sense.
Okay, so I'll be Aunt Peg.
And then,
so as you run through these, I'll give you my Aunt Peg response.
Okay, let's play the cut of them condemning Donald Trump. Listen to this.
Let's now move to resolution number 2, condemning the first 6 months of the second Trump administration. Discussion. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Resolution 2 passes.
So there you go. They wasted their time at the summer meetings of the DNC. They're passing resolutions that everybody already agrees with. Why waste your time on it? It's silly. It sounds stupid.
So you passed a resolution to condemn the first 6 months of the Trump administration.
Yes, exactly. In your summer meetings. Which is supposed to set the direction of the party moving forward.
There is such a thing as that when you have a meeting with a lot of people, everyone gets dumber.
Have you ever been in?
If you've ever sat through a meeting and you suddenly go, hey, normally Dave is pretty smart, but now they're in a meeting, why is Dave an idiot?
It turns out
everybody's dumb in this meeting.
Huh. It just sounded like a joke to me.
That's when the whores come in.
It is, indeed. And they're there. There's no doubt. At that meeting, they're
Man, I have
present.
People I've worked with in the past where as soon as they start asking questions, it's just,
put your hand down. Never ask questions in a meeting. Never be the person to ask questions in a meeting. Ever. You have questions, nobody raise their hand.
I used to work with somebody who would air out their complaints.
Oh, of course.
In company meetings.
Oh, my God. One of those.
And that was just stop. Can you
please stop?
I need to get out of here.
And here's the thing. Don't make it tough for everybody else by raising your hand or saying you have a question. Wait till the meeting is over and then go and ask the question.
That's right.
That way you don't damage everybody else's day.
Don't have a resolution that everyone already knows what it's going to be.
Or that. Don't waste your time. All right. So if you're Aunt Peg, put on your tinfoil. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be tinfoil hat. It would be pink hat. We'll call it the pink hat.
I've got my pink vagina hat on.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So one of the things that Donald Trump has done in the first 6 months that they've condemned is deport illegal aliens from the United States.
That is terrible.
Well, but you understand illegal aliens, Aunt Peg.
They're just people.
Well, of course they are, and I have no ill will against them. I'd probably be trying to get here too. But
don't you think Jesus loves them too, Tug?
I do. Yes, I do. I absolutely think he does. But do you realize what it does to the job market? Do you realize what it does to the housing market by having an additional 20, 30 million people in the United States?
When you die, you realize you're going to have to explain this, correct?
Right, but let's talk about it here now. Let's talk about what it does to wages.
I'm only concerned with your life after this one.
Well, and I love you for that. And look, when I read my Bible, I'm going to get myself right, and I feel like that.
Let's just agree to disagree.
Okay, fair enough. Well, can we move to the next one?
Okay.
Securing the U.S. borders, the South. It happened really quick, Aunt Peg.
Well, that's because Donald Trump is Hitler.
By securing the border?
You know, Hitler secured his borders too. He built that Atlantic Wall.
Well, but we're just trying to prevent people from coming in again. I mean,
people deserve to come here for a better life?
No, legally, yes. If they want to come legally, they
Let's agree to disagree.
Well, again, we have to agree to disagree on everything. Southern border secured. Everything is in better shape there. Exposing government fraud, waste, and abuse. The Doge. They have condemned.
I know you're all excited about Doge, but do you know how many people around the world are going to die because of that money being taken away?
I don't. Do you?
There's a study out of Massachusetts that says we're going to lose 300,000 people because you cut all their money.
Can you cite your source?
You really want to kill 300,000 people?
Can you cite your source and tell me who these experts are?
I heard it from Rachel Maddow.
See, there's the problem. Next, we're going to have to agree to disagree on I'm going to bring up the agree to disagree. Anything you hear from Rachel Maddow is bad. What about this one? Will surely come together on Aunt Peg. This one's so clear. We'll both love and appreciate, and they shouldn't have condemned it at the summer meeting of the Democrat Party. Securing these peace deals.
You know, Donald Trump is only doing it because he wants to win a Nobel Prize.
Well, if he gets it done, does he deserve one? Because I feel like if he was able
He's no Barack Obama. You know that.
Well,
Barack Obama got it within months.
Well, but Barack Obama is a communist, and he's not. So, yes, you're right. They're very different people. I agree.
Donald Trump just did it to enrich his family.
How would he do that? Peace deals?
He's going to have deals throughout the whole world. Jared Kushner's going to make so much money. I can't believe you don't know about this. Well, it was covered in Mother Jones.
But what about stopping the killing? Do you care about? You have to care about that part.
His sons are dictators in waiting. They're like Qusay and Udre.
You mean Saddam Hussein's children?
Yes.
That was? I don't think they are, but you have to appreciate the fact that he's trying to stop people from killing each other in the hundreds of thousands on both the Ukrainian side, which you support, and the Russian side. For me, I just want to see the killing end. I feel like Donald Trump does too.
You're only interested in the white people that kill each other. Like those white South Africans that they're trying to get out. That's all you really care about.
Well, but that's not the case at all. Do I think that they shouldn't be killed? Yes.
Well, I guess we can agree to disagree.
Again? Just on murder? Okay. Banning men from invading women's private spaces. You don't want a man in your locker room when you go to change at the YMCA, do you?
You know, love is love, Tug. And until you see things that way, I just don't understand how you can continue to look at people and ostracize them. They just want to be involved in what you want them to be involved in.
Can you not love them, though, and understand that they probably shouldn't be in my wife or your private space?
If they've had puberty blockers, they're the same.
But are they? I'm not sure they are. Even if they've had surgery, I don't know that they're the same. It doesn't change.
If they've done that, they're the same. What do you have a problem with these people, Tug?
I do believe that women.
Do you just go around looking for Adam's apples all day? No. Is that all you really care about?
No, but I'm not blind to the fact that when I walk out the door at the Battery and I see a man dressed as a woman, I'm very polite to that man. But I can't help my eyes and my common sense works, and I realize what I'm seeing.
Okay. All right.
It's like a terrible cloak. You have to just reach deep.
It's a lot of fun to actually go, what would the crazy say?
No kidding, man.
And every single time, well, most of the time, it's about using your own values against you.
Of course. Isn't it? It's always the bounce pass for sure.
How many more of these things?
Dude, there's a bunch.
Oh, my God.
Stopping the chemical and surgical castration of kids, ending racial politics and indoctrination in schools and colleges, creating historic trade deals, bringing trillions of dollars worth of investment into the U.S. They condemned all of those things that are beneficial to you and me as American citizens, and then they come up with all the reasons that they're terrible. It's not surprising that they did this, but it's a sad state of affairs for the Democrat Party. How low do you have to stoop to say all of those things are bad?
Where is the part where you endorse something that's happened, but you also believe you can do it better? Because that's really the key here. Yeah. That's really the goal. Is there an aspect of the Trump administration where you say that was done in a way that is passable, it's acceptable, but we would like to see X, Y, and Z all added onto it?
Yeah, their TDS wouldn't allow anything to be acceptable or passable. That's why they take the 20% on everything. Whatever Trump does, we're taking the opposite. That's the resistant state of mind.
He really did break them, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he broke them. He broke the entire party.
They're at lows that they've not seen in a generation. They've lost the popular culture. Never. Of all the things that Donald Trump, I thought he might do and he might win and things that he might implement, I never expected him to be the cool person again. I never expected it.
I know we're going back to this, but I think it's important to point out when you talk about the popular culture, because oftentimes the Democrats, that's the area they try and live in.
They own Hollywood.
If they hear that the mentality has changed on a particular topic, they often will change with it. Be like, uh-oh, they found out. Okay, we're in trouble here. Donald Trump put out a post, and then 8 hours later, Cracker Barrel's like, sorry, we messed up. Like, that's how different that was. That's how quickly that happened. That's where he's controlling this narrative. He's forcing them to jump from one foot to the next, and no matter where they go, they always feel like they're wrong, and then they hate him for it.
Dude, how pissed is that CEO of Waffle House, of Cracker Barrel? She is so furious right now. They had to put out this rosy statement about how we listened. They obviously didn't address Donald Trump, but we listened to our customers.
We messed up.
Dude, they are furious that they had to make this change.
Yeah.
You had the story out of Fox Business where the investor talked about this being a terrible idea, an idea of folly.
But who would have imagined? That's just, you said, the pop culture.
Just
you control the pop culture.
We've never been able to do it. We've never had it. It was always Rolling Stone magazine, because I read Rolling Stone as a kid. I read Spin magazine because it was music related, and they always talked. It was always such a leftist point of view, and that does not exist. Those magazines, in there, they still talk like that. But the idea of them owning the popular culture is over. Nobody believes in what Hollywood has to say. Nobody believes what the mainstream media has to say. Nobody believes any of the nonsense anymore. They're able to watch Donald Trump be successful and everybody react to it.
I think there's two things in play here. Something for you to kind of juggle around in your mind, Tug, and maybe we find ourselves where this has all occurred. I think part of this is that we can point at whether it's a Tucker Carlson, whether it's a Charlie Kirk, whether it's a Matt Walsh. Like, there's all these people that you can point to and say, okay, well, this is what Walsh has been doing, and this is what this person's been doing. To a lesser extent, even a Joe Rogan, who's by no means a conservative or Republican or anything else, although you've seen the kind of direction he's gone.
Sure.
These are now the people our age and a little bit older that are young enough to drive the culture. And all their side is now the Nancy Pelosi's of the world. I think it naturally lends itself to, y'all are old and you ain't cool. And when was the last time that you heard the term culture war? We won.
Yeah,
it's not even a war. It's done.
But it's funny because for my entire lifetime, they owned it.
Yeah.
Obama owned it. Bill Clinton playing the saxophone. They owned the culture. They owned popular culture. They owned what people thought and what was cool and what wasn't cool. And now Donald Trump has pulled the rug out from under them. They don't own it. And let me tell you, that's a scary place for them because they've always had Hollywood in their corner. They always had media in their corner. They always had the record labels in their corner. And nobody's listening to any of them anymore.
They're now coming across as old and busted.
That's right.
Like, how
when you said it earlier, which was so spot on, he broke them.
He broke them. Donald Trump, an 80-year-old man, broke them.
So much so. This is how broken they are. I told Los this early, I think it was Monday. So forgive me if you've heard it before, but I took my wife to see her favorite band play Monday. Sitting behind us were three libs, and they were talking about how Donald Trump's health is terrible and he may die. Obviously, when I hear that, I'm like, okay, let me listen to this. My sweet wife's talking to me about, hey, let's go get some popcorn and some M&Ms. And I never heard her because I was so dialed into what they were saying. But that was their conversation. He was like, did you see him on the roof? Oh, my gosh, he looks terrible. He's in awful shape. They truly believe it.
That is their last hope.
That's what it is, right? It's a hope more than anything else.
That's all it is.
Please be true. Please be true.
Please have an American president. Please have him die in office.
Please have him quit being so successful on behalf of the American people. That's the thing. That they're cheering against you directly.
And this is the part that's getting to them. He is a force of nature by which we'll probably never see again, where you could throw everything at him and he still keeps coming, and then he keeps winning, and he keeps getting more popular. When has any politician had all the crimes and convictions and all the games tied to them, and yet they come out stronger than they ever have? That's unexplainable to them.
It's never happened. It's never happened. Well, the DOJ's never been weaponized against a president before either.
And then it turns into, well, we'll get him with the Epstein files, just like you were going to get him with the Mueller report, just like you were going to get him with the dossier
and Russia collusion.
Just like in New York and in Georgia, you're going to get him this time. This is the one. The only thing there now is like, well, death is undefeated. Maybe they can get him there after they already shot him.
Try to kick the football. It never works.
He has totally broken them. It really has happened.
Amazing. When we continue on Extra 106.3, Europe is dying a slow and painful death from immigration to freedom of speech. Next on Extra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Atlanta Braves took the second game of their three-game series against the Marlins in Miami last night, blowing them out late 11-2. The Braves scored 9 runs in the ninth inning to make the final inning a laugher. Today, the rubber game features a 1:10 afternoon start time. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons made a move to help out with the injuries on their offensive line yesterday. as the team sent a conditional 7th-round draft choice to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for tackle Michael Jarrell. The Falcons will start the season without their starting right tackle Caleb McGarry and his primary backup. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Frickson Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of all Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turf Go. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's Los. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I've learned a lot about this car buying process from you. Is that typical of most of the clients you've worked with?
Yeah, I'm finding out it's even more typical. I mean, people are learning more and more, and maybe it's because I overload them with information because I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to make sure you know everything.
Do I have to have a particular make and model in mind when I call you, or is it just open to anything I want?
It's open. I can get any make, any year, any model.
I might be looking to trade in my vehicle. Can you accommodate that as the honest car guy?
For sure. I mean, we love it when people want to trade in cars because honestly, it's best for you to trade in a car. Why? Because you get a tax savings.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the honest car guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Fox on Tech.
The president wants your kids to learn to use artificial intelligence to solve some problems. The White House announces the Presidential AI Challenge to American kids, encouraging them to use AI tech to solve challenges in their communities. The goal is to foster an understanding by kids of using AI productively and to do so in a way that is supervised by educators. The First Lady even made an invite video.
The President's National Artificial Intelligence Challenge invites every student in America, from kindergarten to 12th grade, to unleash their imagination and showcase the spirit of American innovation.
Registration is open now through December, with state, regional, and national winners to be announced throughout next year. Rules, a challenge guidebook, and sample project ideas can be found at ai.gov. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
A government watchdog said Illinois' map represents a nearly perfect model for everything that can go wrong with redistricting.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
We're supposed to be like Europe, but I don't believe that we are anymore. I don't know how much in common we have with Europe at all, even though that's where freedom of speech and these ideas that make America a great country all derive from. It's where they all came from. But I want you to hear from a German, the German president, when he was yeah, exactly. Speaking at the WEF, Olaf Scholz, he condemns Elon Musk.
What is Musk?
Yeah, that's right. He does not like Elon Musk. But it's interesting that he lays out how free they are in Europe to speak, and then tells them exactly the opposite in the next sentence. Listen.
On the question of the dealing of Elon Musk, I had a lot of things to comment in the past because he was discussing a lot about Europe. And just to repeat what I already said, we have the freedom of speech in Europe and in Germany. Everyone can say what he wants, even if he is a billionaire. And what we do not accept is if this is supporting extreme right positions. And that is what I would like to repeat again.
So
we're totally free.
Except,
but
if you don't agree with us, you can't say it. That's what he said. We have freedom of speech as long as it's acceptable speech. That's what he laid out. So the place that in Europe where freedom of speech was born, it is actually dying on the vine as we watch it.
Is it possible that Europe has fallen?
Yes. Yes.
Is this where we're at?
Have you seen out of Europe? Dude, the unmitigated immigration, the things that are happening in the streets, the stabbing. Jeray brought up the little girl from Scotland that was trying to protect her and her friend from being attacked and raped, and they punish her. They go after her, the child.
You're carrying weapons. Well, if it was safer, I probably wouldn't.
But that almost goes back to a freedom issue again. Like, am I not free to defend myself? Do I have to allow the worst things in the world to happen to me and then hope my government will save me? That I have to go through this horrible thing for my government to even recognize there's a problem, because they still say there's not a problem there. The Pakistani rape gangs that they have, that they say don't exist, yet this little girl is trying to defend herself and her friend with knives because they actually do. I mean, Europe, I said dying, it's dead. Europe is actually dead.
I'm just very surprised to hear someone actually point out that, yeah, we're free, but
it's a big caveat.
I was like, there's no but when it really comes to freedom, as we've talked about it a number of different times. When anyone does well, you can't shout fire in a crowded theater. Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. We have all sorts of speech, including dumb speech, including hate speech. It's all protected. There is no such thing as that is too inflammatory. Yet in Europe, it's what kind of speech? And now it's turned into what kind of praying? What kind of thoughts are you having?
Because we'll arrest you for praying in your home.
Did you post something online that we deem to be a little bit too hateful, maybe too abrasive? We'll be at your door.
They're knocking on people's door to arrest them for posting memes, yet this little girl in Scotland is scared for her own safety, and there's no one there to take care of her. There's no one there to protect her. There's no one there to arrest the people that are trying to attack her. It's the most backwards, nonsensical. It's the worst of the worst, man. It's as close to evil as you can get.
Well, it's why, and I know this was out of Australia, you had a number of different posts that had gotten out of there. One of them was a woman, notably, who talked about, y'all are fortunate y'all have Donald Trump.
I did see this woman, yes.
She had pointed out, here's the reasons why. Like, this is a person who's actually defending your personal freedom.
She's like, we wish we had Donald Trump.
Because we lost it. They never bounced back from COVID. Australia never went back to being a free society.
New Zealand is there too. A friend of mine is from New Zealand, and he says the exact same thing. He's like, we don't have the freedoms that we used to. Remember when it used to be, everybody's like, well, man, if you don't live in the United States, where are you going? I'm going to escape to Australia.
Yeah, I'll go to Canada.
Those places are locked down. Those places are horrible.
They changed and they never went back. And part of it was that the power systems got a taste of what it was and said, we want to hold on to this.
Give me more.
This is good.
Give me more. And Germany's the same way. Britain's the same way. France is the same way. All of them.
And give Donald Trump the credit on this one. I know we try and do that quite a bit, but I will say very much so. The man could have grabbed as much power as he wanted during COVID. He was like, I'll leave it to the governors.
Leave it to the states.
The work of a dictator, huh? I'll leave it to the states.
Exactly. Which dictator exactly gives up that much power?
So then by the time Biden rolls in and now uses real power and becomes a real dictator, well, at least to staff around him, They were just there like, here, just march out, say these
Yeah,
words.
just say
And
this.
slap them on the butt and say, just go say this.
Go out there, get them.
That you actually had the Nazi orange man bad, all the things they call him, and America couldn't wait to get him back into office. And right now, or they're enjoying every bit of it. And Europe is looking at him going, why don't we have one of those?
Especially Giorgia Meloni in Italy. She's been a very vocal advocate for Donald Trump and the way that he runs the United States, the things that he's doing to ensure freedom instead of take it back, to ensure freedom of speech instead of taking it back. I mean, you can say what you want to about Donald Trump. You can call him any name that you want, but if you listen to Harold Ford Jr. or you listen to this show, the more you call him names, the more powerful he becomes. It has the exact opposite effect that you think it's going to.
The First Amendment is so critical because the idea that you can criticize your government without worrying about being attacked by your government, that was...
Well, for the last 4 years...
That was on the line.
It sure was.
Between the censorship and going at you for what you were saying, that was on the line. And to now see across Europe, if you have, just as you said, it's one thing if I post threatening comments, threaten to kill an official, threaten to hurt some people. Yeah, the police should show up at your door for that. You're probably a bit unhinged. People are doing this in Europe where if you happen to put a meme that might make fun of a group, well, they got to show up at your door now.
Or if you ride your scooter across a pride intersection.
Well, you might have to show up at your door.
Catch a felony for that.
This is the last great hope. Here's where we're at.
Where are you going?
And we had to take it away from the socialists.
And believe me, they're not backing down.
No, now we have to ensure that they basically sit on the back burner for 20 years. And at that same time, we need to do everything we can for America's youth to give them a shot at the American dream, because we saw this with Chairman Mao. If you go back in your history, when Mao Zedong had the huge failure that ended up causing a famine that killed about 50 million Chinese, he knew, I'm out. Like, this is the end. Like, I'm no longer going to rule China. And he had an idea. Let's go after the young people, and we can turn them in our favor. And that ensured his place in Chinese society, where you had children, young people, turning in their parents for seditious talk about Chairman Mao. So they're out there. It's like, we have to make sure the American dream is available to these young people, because right now they don't have access to it, and they are perfect. They are ripe for a socialist coming along and saying, I'll fix all of it.
Kind of like Mamdani. In New York, because that's who's voting for him, the young.
That's the thing. We got to ensure the power is there. We got to keep them at bay, and then we got to get our young people on track.
The new evidence that what you believe about the 2020 election is true. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
Conspiracy theories. Hey, I'm no stranger to conspiracy theories. I'm the guy on the radio that said dolphins had swum up the torpedo tubes of a nuclear submarine and they were going to nuke Los Angeles. But I followed that radio show with 2 words: April Fools. But the conspiracy theories today are just ridiculous. Who are the idiots that buy into these things? First and foremost, the earth is flat. No, seriously. If you're on Facebook, look up some of the flat earth Facebook pages. The earth is flat. It's surrounded by a wall of ice and covered by a dome. The sun is only 4,000 miles away. How do they know this? It's all in the Bible. The firmament in the Bible is actually that glass dome over the flat earth. We call them flurfs. Here's a new one. That teacher from New England that died in the Challenger disaster, oh, she's not dead. She's now a professor in a law school up there in New England. The whole Challenger thing was faked. How do we know? Because the earth is flat. That's how we know. Those condensation trails that jet airliners leave, those are chemtrails. They're chemicals that the government is putting in the air to poison us and control us. There was never a moon landing. It was faked. All of the pictures of Earth taken from space, They're fake. Try this one. Birds aren't real. They're actually small drones being operated by the government to keep an eye on us. No, not kidding. The trouble with these things is that people actually believe them. And if they will believe those, they'll believe slanderous lies like Alex Jones and school shootings, and 9/11 was an inside job. Come on, folks, do some homework. Don't let idiots with internet connections steer you into this insanity. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
This is House Call for Health. Caught COVID and thought getting over symptoms was the worst of it? Research suggests an infection could increase your risk of other sinus issues as well. A study says getting sick with COVID-19 might boost a person's risk of developing asthma, seasonal allergies, and long-lasting sinus problems. Researchers compared over 900,000 people who'd been infected with COVID with more than 4.4 million people who'd been neither infected nor vaccinated. They found COVID patients had a 66% higher risk of developing asthma, a 74% higher risk of chronic sinus inflammation, and a 27% increased risk of hay fever. And people infected with COVID had more than twice the risk of asthma or sinus problems and 40% higher odds of hay fever compared to those who'd been vaccinated. The study was published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
The bold blitz to beat down crime. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox News. President Trump holding a cabinet meeting yesterday where he called for the return of the death penalty in the nation's capital. This comes as D.C. sees its first homicide in nearly 2 weeks.
That shooting took place early Tuesday morning after midnight when an adult male was found unconscious but breathing in Anacostia off Minnesota Avenue in southeast D.C. He later died in the hospital. The White House says there's been over 1,000 arrests this month since President Trump ordered those reinforcements to help D.C.'s police force, which is 800 cops short. Trump says Republican House and Senate leaders are working on a new legislation to fight crime. Posting last night, Speaker Mike Johnson and Leader John Thune are working with me and other Republicans on a comprehensive crime bill. It's what our country needs, and now more to follow. Make America great again.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Washington, D.C. does not have the death penalty, but the Trump administration has been pushing police to charge suspects with federal crimes, some of which do carry the death penalty. City officials continue to argue that crime had already been falling. President Trump is facing a legal challenge to his attempt to fire a Federal Reserve Board member.
The president says his removal of Lisa Cook as a Federal Reserve Board governor is not related to her opposition to lower interest rates.
We need people that are 100% above board, and it doesn't seem like she was.
President Trump cites an allegation of mortgage fraud by Cook for her dismissal, an accusation Cook denies. Her attorney says she will sue to prevent an unlawful firing. President Trump told reporters he is considering a replacement for Cook. Her term on the Fed does not expire until 2038. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Cook was appointed by President Joe Biden in 2022. America's listening to Fox News.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Finally, there is conservative talk in Atlanta, Georgia.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 1063. We do need to give a country call out and a congratulations to our former co-worker, Nate McCarter. He and his wife had a beautiful baby boy. How awesome is that? There's nothing more precious than starting a family. That's the way to be successful in America. Right
Good
there.
for them.
Absolutely.
He worked here for quite a while.
Yeah, he did. And
I think Nate did like 7, 8, 9 years.
Easily. Yeah, and just a good dude. Only thing really bad about him is that he graduated from Alabama.
I understand that you don't care for that. He would always come up to me and want to talk Alabama football, and I'd be like, let's do it.
Yeah, right.
Let's get it done here.
That and Falcons too, right?
Yeah. He always wanted to know, how much more do we owe Kirk Cousins? It's like, Nate, it's a lot.
A bunch.
Well, next year, like, we don't owe him anything. We cut him, right? No.
You still do.
I'm like, you're not paying him, but it's accounting. It still counts on your salary cap. So we don't owe him any money. No. You owe him money you've already paid him.
It's just shaking him.
You're just accounting for it at the time.
Yes.
There's a lot of that. And then he'd randomly give me like a fantasy football thing, and I am the biggest, unless we're talking prize picks.
Yeah.
I really don't care about what running back you take at the second round or what his numbers are going to be at all. Like, unless it makes me dollars on Sunday, I'm not interested in talking fantasy football.
Yeah, I've never once played fantasy football. I did fantasy baseball
fun.
For a second and didn't have the time to keep up with it, so I was not.
I just found this, Tug. I would start rooting for the weirdest things. Like, I might have a running back playing against my football team, and I'm rooting for that running back to score 2 touchdowns against my team.
Yeah, but you still want your team to win, but you need that to hit.
But it's weird. So instead, and by the way, you're doing that and you're not winning any money. You're just playing in a league against the other guys. Well, what happens if it is for money? Well, then I'm not going to pick that running back to score 2 touchdowns on my team. I'll pick another game.
Yeah, right.
But then I'll root for that stuff.
There you go. It makes sense to me.
I got to look at those lines for today or for this weekend. I got to find out what we got going on here.
There you go. I love it. I wanted to run this by you when I found this. I thought it was fascinating, and it was tweeted out by Madden NFL 26. Backed by years of real NFL data that delivers explosive gameplay in every moment, Madden NFL 2026 is built from Sundays, now available worldwide. And I know my son's going to want it. I bet. Do you already have it? Are you going to get it?
I am planning on it. We've had family in town all last week and this week, and it's been a little hard to sneak away to go like, I'm going to go do 6 hours of Madden.
Exactly. No, I get it. But what stood out to me was, backed by years of real NFL data, we have EA Sports that collect real data to put together an authentic video game. It is so important to them that it matches reality, that the running backs have the right skill set, and whatever their Madden rating is, they use NFL data to back it up. And in the United States of America, we don't have accurate crime data. Isn't that nuts?
That's funny.
Isn't that crazy? That's what I took away from reading that. That EA Sports is so concerned with making sure that they have the most efficient, the most real data to make the game as real as it can possibly be. And in America, we don't have actual accurate crime data to be able to keep people safe.
Well, which one's helpful?
Well,
apparently, you want to sell some video games?
Yeah, and apparently making,
You want to tell people how dangerous it is out there? That's not helpful to re-elections.
But it's helpful to keep your family and my family safe.
That's not the priority. I got to maintain power here, Tug.
I know.
Listen, I got to hold on to this job. I got a pension.
Don't you know? I got grips of money to make. I got to be able to tell people that they're non-essential. I've got to be able to tell people that they can't leave their house. I got to be able to tell people that when they see crime in the streets, that's not actually what they're seeing.
These are not the droids you're looking for. You're not actually seeing this crime.
That's right. No, gas prices aren't cheaper. No, groceries haven't gone down.
By the way,
Donald Trump's wrecking the country.
Does saying these are not the droids you're looking for, does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't. But it kind of, I kind of got, the fact that droids are just going to fall in line and do what they're told to do. Like that part makes sense.
There's an iconic moment in Star Wars where he uses basically his powers, Obi-Wan Kenobi, to tell the weak-minded, these are not the droids you're looking for. So the line, whenever you see that, is you're being told something that's an illusion.
Yeah, which makes perfect
sense.
sense.
When the government tells you, No. This crime data is not right. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Which Star Wars was that? Which movie?
It's the original.
The very first one?
Very first one.
Okay, I've seen that one a bunch of times. I just for whatever, I was not seen it in a while.
Well, now when you read that in pop culture, now you're going to go, I get it. Oh, hey, that homicide, that was not a homicide. These are not the droids you're looking for.
I love it. Yeah. But that's my takeaway from Madden 2026. How when you make billions, you use real data. Or if you're in government and you make billions, you use fake data. It's unbelievable that happens, and yet it does.
All right, I need to get your opinion on something. This is very important to open up the 9 o'clock hour.
Okay.
So I'm trying to take a look at what the passing numbers should be. My projected passing numbers when it comes to, let's say, Arch Manning against Ohio State. If I was to say, all right, Tug, how many yards do you think he can throw for against Ohio State?
Let's give him 295.
Okay, not bad. Right now, his projection's 238.5.
Okay.
So see, I would take an over there. Now, I'm still looking around for Gunner Stockton, and I don't think we have a line on Gunner based off of, what they currently have. Rushing yards. I'm trying to find any Georgia lines right now where I can go, all right, I'm going to be watching that game. So what will I put down here?
Are you on the Prize Picks app?
Yeah, I'm taking a look right now, and I'm not seeing very... Sometimes this gets updated later in the week, but I'm not seeing very many Georgia-oriented. A lot of them is... Like, I can find stuff on, let's see, Texas, Ohio State. I find Boise, Colorado State. Basically, the Friday games, you get a lot of those.
Yeah.
So,
and probably, are there going to be a lot of people betting on Georgia Marshall? I mean, it just didn't seem like it would be
it's got to be a huge line. Okay, so I would think the line, if I'm just guessing, is like
39.5.
I was about to say, I was like 35.5, so 39.5, yeah. Which, that's always hard to play in Prize Picks or any of these games because you know that the starter is going to be out pretty early, probably by third quarter.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
if not halftime.
Do you show off all your tricks and all of that on the first week?
No, of course not. No, not at all. But that's why you don't get projected numbers going into these games because you don't expect to have the starters play the entire time. Like your starting running back, I bet, gets like 8 carries.
And then you're going to have a bunch of freshmen in there just to get their feet wet.
It's going to be Cash Jones time, baby.
Yeah.
So,
Love it. Give me some Cash Jones. I love that kid. We've always, had our concerns about the 2020 election.
The most statistically improbable election of all time.
That one. That's the exact one. And I remember Janelle King, whom we love, and she does a show on the weekends here, the Janelle King Show that you can hear Saturdays and Sundays on Extra. I remember before she was on the Georgia State Election Board, she was like, I just don't know. I just don't know if anything happened. I don't know. I don't have evidence either way. I just don't know. And then she got on the election board, and I remember her telling me the first time, she's like, oh, something happened. But it's not just in 2020. It even goes back further than that. And it was, benefited Republicans, benefited Democrats, but definitely something happened in 2020. And there's even more evidence of that, Los.
So this was yesterday during the 3-hour cabinet meeting that we were all allowed to sit in on. As long as you wanted to.
Unbelievable. The transparency, the level of transparency that you've never seen before in American history.
So Donald Trump is doing what typically the person who's running the cabinet meeting does. He goes to each person in his cabinet and gets an update on where they're at, what they're talking about, what's been going on. He does this with DNI Tulsi Gabbard. And Tulsi talks about how they're tightening up some of the budgets and that they're reducing some of the wasteful spending that's going on within her organization and within her departments. And then she kind of goes down a road that was pretty interesting when she was prompted by Trump.
You've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right; we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people and trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people and to our country.
All right, can I be 20-year-old Los right now?
Yeah.
20-year-old Los who at one point said, I'm not a terrorist. What am I scared about the Patriot Act for? Just kind of ignorant to the world.
But you and I did the exact same thing. We've talked about this. How misled we were about the Patriot Act.
20-year-old Los is going to say, well, your government wasn't involved in rigging the 2020 election. But I firmly believe they know all the information about what went on. I bet you we have bags of information that the intelligence apparatus within this government went, so here were the mules, here were the games that were played, here was the ballot stuffing, because they probably documented it. And I think that's what you're going to end up finding out is that our intelligence agencies documented what occurred. I don't think they were involved in it, but we'll see.
Yes.
Right? That 20-year-old me is saying, why would they be involved in that?
Burn bags.
Maybe because they wanted the government back from the outsider.
And imagine being so sloppy, Los, that you would leave burn bags undestroyed with the evidence incriminating you, potentially incriminating you, because you never expected anybody in the world would be looking for it. Donald Trump's never coming back to power. It's going to be some establishment Republican, even if they even get elected. And they're never going to rock the boat. How many Republicans have we ever had that rocked the boat?
Could you imagine 5 or 6 years after the fact, because Tulsi Gabbard's putting everything out there. She's laying all the cards out on the table.
Which I love.
Which I'm enjoying. It makes for a lot of fun reading. But if she ends up saying, here was the involvement, here was what really happened with your 2020 election, do you know how many times Donald Trump's going to say, I told you so?
Oh, dude.
He might have that, like a hat that just says, I told you so.
The red MAGA hat. And it just says, I told you so. Told you. And then how many times are you going to hear the interview of him, was it with Margaret, who was it? 60 Minutes. It was on 60 Minutes when he was saying they spied on my campaign. They did all these things. And she was like, no, they didn't.
Sir, this is 60 Minutes.
Come on, 60 Minutes and say those things. And he can say, I told you so.
Told you so. I told you so. So we'll just see.
Those are the most painful words to have to eat, too.
I told you so.
Dude,
that's what he's going to tell all of us if that happens to be the case. Which, I think we all kind of knew.
Yeah,
We've all been able to acknowledge that this was, again, the most. We were talking with somebody yesterday who admitted to us that they've been a lifelong Democrat. And even he went, there is no possible way Joe Biden got 81 million votes.
Exactly right.
In fact, I think a lot of Democrats, if they're being very honest, they go, seriously, guys, did we have to make it 81 million? That he really got more votes than anybody in the history of this country?
And where did those votes go? All of a sudden, you just tell me they just disappeared? The woman that's backing up Joe Biden, that is nothing more than the stamp, just like he was going to be, for that board of directors, whomever it was that was pulling the strings, and there was a lot of people in there. She couldn't get a fraction of those votes to win the election? Not a fraction of them?
I would like, let's lay this out. Simple math, right? So you're telling me that right now, Donald Trump, who is more popular than Barack Obama at this point in his presidency, again, more popular than Barack Obama.
Data backs it up. Harry Enton said it the other day on CNN.
What occurred in 2020 was a man who had really not had any significant accomplishments as far as a legislator. In fact, he was one of the people that was one of the biggest proponents of the crime bill. He talked about not wanting his family to live in a racial jungle. He stepped in one landmine after another. He told you if you don't vote for him, you're not black. You're telling me that man got 81 million votes, the most that anyone had ever gotten in history, against the person who has been wildly popular during his 2 terms. Statistically impossible. In fact, I think that when we really go back and start having fun with it, what we'll recognize is, why did we stop the count everywhere? Allegedly, because they were like, we need to pump these numbers way up if we're going to take this thing.
And it happened across the country, including State Farm Arena here in Atlanta, where the water main broke.
Had a water main break.
So we're going to stop the counting, and we'll start back in the morning. Except they sent everybody home. And a friend of mine was a poll watcher there.
And then they kept counting all night.
And then they start counting all night. And they did that in so many different counties and so many different states.
in blue territories.
Exactly right, man.
And suddenly, when you got up in the morning, it was, oh, hey.
What a comeback.
This is amazing.
It's unbelievable. Yes, it is unbelievable.
And when they looked at it, somebody said, seriously, people, you gave him $81 million?
We couldn't have at least just made it look
a
relatively
little closer
so it wouldn't look like such a sham.
And it's taken 5 years and burn bags of information. So we'll see. But again, I just lay it out there. The president who, during his first and second term, will be able to claim that he was more popular than Barack Obama was beaten by a vegetable on a night when they stopped counting, and then suddenly the numbers wildly changed.
Okay. Really hard to believe. I found it hard to believe after I woke up that morning. I found it hard to believe through the inauguration of Joe Biden. I found it hard to believe to the minute when he stepped down.
Let's continue the layout here. By the time that we were done counting, remember, California ended up counting for like 3 weeks afterwards, that they were still counting votes for Kamala Harris. It didn't matter. But when we reached California and they had shut down for the night, at that point, 7 to 8 million Democrat voters who had voted for Joe Biden disappeared. Have no idea what happened to them.
I think I know what happened to them.
California had to keep counting so as to not make 2020 look like a figment of imagination.
Even though it was.
Ta-da!
Right. I can't wait till... Much like we've been telling you, Russia collusion was a farce from the beginning. From the beginning of the show, we told you that. Now the evidence is rolling out like we've never seen before. Transparency like you've never seen before. And that is now so obvious and clear. Wait till the 2020 election information starts rolling out. And it becomes so blatantly clear to everybody, even those who didn't want to believe it because their guy won. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern. SouthernExteriors.co. 10% off any job or 12 months, 0% financing. When we come back, the explosion of autism will be explained next month. Next on Extra.
Listen to the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Bortz, and all your favorite Extra 106.3 personalities whenever you want with the all-new Extra app. It's anytime show replays, all your favorite podcasts, and the latest political news from across Georgia. Download the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android.
September is Fan Appreciation Month at Truist Park. Get ready as the Braves battle the Mariners and the Cubs September 5th through the 10th. Fans can enjoy 3 gate giveaways, including the Kids Beaded Necklace, a Michael Harris II scooter bobblehead presented by Xfinity, and the replica jersey presented by Coke. Plus, the popular Barbie ticket pack returns this season on September 9th. See all of the fun this September and get your tickets at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
When you buy a Subaru from Subaru of Gwinnett, you're buying more than a vehicle. You're buying safety for your family and something that will last a long, long time. In other words, you're buying trust. For a limited time, you can celebrate amazing offers on the all-new Forester, Crosstrek, or Outback during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through September 2nd. And you'll love more than just your new Subaru. You'll love the dedicated staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. With some of the best service specials in the area and a team you know you can trust, you'll ride with peace of mind knowing that Subaru of Gwinnett has your back. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you'll find the Subaru model you've always dreamed about at a price that makes that dream come true. But you need to get in by September 2nd to take advantage. We'll make it easy. Just start with a test drive, and before you know it, you'll be in the Subaru you love. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com, then stop by on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth. SubaruofGwinnett.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates.
And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the Grand Slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts, Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
You protect your physical health by choosing your doctors carefully. Protect your financial health by choosing an attorney carefully. An accident can be very costly. You want to receive the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law. My friend David Van Sant will take care of you, trust me, very well. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. The website is vansantlaw.com. In the event of an accident, it could be the most important phone call you make.
Saving you money, I'm Hillary Barsky. You're stuck, you're trying to save, but still having trouble. There's some practical steps that you can take that helps you adopt smarter savings habits, like tracking expenses consistently, which helps reduce overspending by increasing awareness of where your money is going on a weekly and monthly basis. Check out budgeting apps that can make the process easier by allowing you to allocate funds monthly. Even just writing down purchases can discourage impulsive, unnecessary spending. Paying yourself first is a powerful habit for building savings. It does work best when paired with automatic transfers. And try cooking at home, which is a cost-effective option compared to eating out, which can put a big dent in your wallet. And try switching to generic brands. Store brands typically cost far less than name brand products and often deliver similar quality. And plan major acquisitions around sales seasons and cancel unused gym or club memberships. And the same holds true for streaming subscriptions you don't use. Saving you money, Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Medical College of Georgia cut the ribbon on its new campus in Marietta at Wellstar Kennestone. Dr. David Hess, the dean of the college, said this first regional campus will create a pipeline for more doctors to stay in Georgia. 24 students will learn and train at this location. More regional facilities are being planned. Georgia law enforcement is teaming up with neighboring states ahead of Labor Day weekend on the roads. The 34th Hands Across the Border campaign brings agencies together from Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee to crack down on drunk driving, speeding, distracted driving, and other violations. Powell Harrelson with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says the cross-state partnership helps save lives and increases accountability. And the FBI office in Atlanta says agents and partners with the Safe Streets Gang Task Force are carrying out arrests of suspected gang members across metro Atlanta and Athens. The operation is dubbed Summer Heat. Officials describe it as part of an ongoing effort to dismantle gangs, reduce violent crime, and restore safety in communities across Georgia. Today's weather's sunny and cool, starting in the 50s and warming up to the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
The Off the Rails on the Crazy Train 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. They do windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters. They do all CO. That's right, southernexteriors.co. But you get 10% off or 12 months, 0% financing, any job that at Southern Exteriors. So reach out to them today.
I've been slacking a little bit. I didn't mean to.
Well, that's not like you.
Oh, I know. I was informed that we have to because we're going to have Georgia Tech on our airwaves come Friday. And during Brave season, you can always find them over on Extra 106.3. You can check them out on the app as well. They told me I haven't done my radio liners yet for the game.
No, I've not done mine either. I'm glad you said that. I'm slacking too.
Yeah.
Do you want to just do these live now? I can record them and then email them on over.
All right, you ready? I'm ready when you are.
Buckle up.
I'm sure I got this whole machine.
All right, just let me know when you're ready.
Let it rip.
Forward these in. Go Jackets! Hey, it's Lawson. I hate doing these. Okay. Go Jackets! Hey, it's Los. Join Tug and I every weekday morning, 6 to 10 on the Morning Extra, right here on Extra 106.3 and the Extra 106.3 app.
Okay, all right.
Okay, we got one more. You ready?
Sound professional? Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, wait, no, I did. I wrote that one wrong. Okay. Hey, it's Los. Enjoy the game and then join Tug and I every weekday morning, 6 to 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 and the Extra 106.3 app.
Bam. Do you mind if I just copy that and just say, hey,
you want it. All right, let's see how you did. Now, don't say, hey, it's Los.
No,
you got to switch it up now.
I got to switch it. You're
I wrote enjoying, but I messed up there.
That's all right.
Lug and toast on the Morning Extra.
That's exactly right. Go Jackets. Hey, it's Tug. Join me and Los.
Hold on, a lot more energy there. That didn't sound. I mean, that's.
Well, I mean, I'm a
it's
Georgia
football.
fan.
I know it's a football game.
He's half in the bag already. I mean,
he's like, go Jackets.
I'm a Georgia fan. What do you want from me?
Come on, it's one of our biggest advertisers in the building. Georgia Tech's been great to
Yes,
us.
they have. Absolutely right. And I have a dear friend, a child on the team.
Well, think of him when you do
I'm
it.
trying to.
Think of him. Visualize here.
All right, Benno, I'm doing this for you.
All right,
Go Jackets. Oh, you're talking
I'm
there.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Go Jackets. Hey, it's Tug. Join me. My voice cracked there. That sounded like, I'll just do this later. This is not going well.
These, speaking into a microphone and doing a show is completely different than when they go, okay, now, make sure you stand up straight.
Sound peppy.
Make sure you sound this way. That is when I run into problems.
What's worse is when you have to pronounce names and everything. Reading the headlines, I get in here and do that every morning. Sorry to break the lie. I don't do that 4 times a day live.
Yeah, because those names are hard to say.
Names, departments.
Yeah. I always feared certain names when we would get into, typically, it was always Masters coverage. Because there would be so many different players from around the world. And so you would have to go look at pronunciations. Like, it was really nice when it was like, Tommy Fleetwood. Okay, that's really easy. Then you get like some really great Asian golfers, and I'm going, he's from South Korea. Am I saying this correctly?
Say it with confidence and nobody will know, except for people that keep up with.
Except the golfers that actually know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so few people that are going to know exactly if it's right or it's wrong. Unless you're dialed into golf and you're watching it every week, the majority of people don't. Just say it with confidence, man. That's always been my rule of thumb there.
If you were to say, let's say you were calling Chuck Schumer Chuck Swoomer.
You're right.
And you did an entire show calling him Chuck Swoomer. Do you think people would say, hey, he really knows what he's talking about?
Well, yeah, but I think more people know who Chuck Schumer is than a random golfer. That's what I'm saying. Like when it's a sport that's popular, but not everybody watches golf and not everybody knows every golfer.
Very popular.
Yes, it is.
Very popular, Tug.
I'm just saying.
You just had the tour championship here.
I know. It's big time, man. It's huge. Go Jackets. Go Jack. Dude, don't die.
Keep that.
It's terrible.
Keep that loaded.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I was to give you that name, how would you say that?
Oh, Xander Schauffele.
Okay, not bad.
Schauffele. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you've passed. That was my test to you to see how well you could do that name. Okay, how about this one?
Oh my gosh. Hideki Matsuyama. Matsuyama. There we go. I got it on second take.
All right.
Not bad.
Okay, good. Hey, you know what? This is 9 o'clock hour on a Wednesday.
Dude, we're giving you the backstage. We're like the backstage tour.
We're giving you liners.
Yeah.
And then how do you pronounce golf names?
Well, and the other thing is, with those liners, you have to say it with a bunch of pep in your step because there's music running under it, and it will drown you out if you don't enunciate. And people are like, say it in your radio voice. You know, which is always the worst. I'm like, this is it.
You know how many times I've had people tell me, you know, you sound the exact same way you sound on radio.
Yeah.
As if I'm going to have some wildly different voice.
But some people do.
Some people do
I've
the...
worked with a lot of people that do the...
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
We call them puke talkers.
Yes, that's right.
Where they always sound like they're just getting ready to...
Yeah, right. And that's kind of what you have to do with those liners. You have to enunciate. And people that talk like that as part of their gig, they enunciate all the time or over enunciate all the time, and I've never understood it. I'm just like, I don't know why you do that. You sound crazy. Hey everybody!
Hey everybody!
It sounds like a cartoon character something.
And they always have a crazy FM name.
Yeah. Hey, it's Crazy Joe Simpson or whatever.
It's Tornado Joe.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, like one of my dearest friends was Cadillac Jack. His name was High Joke, you know, but he was called Cadillac Jack for years, and that used to be the thing. Like every program director wanted to give their talent this crazy flashy name because you could remember it. That was the whole point, because there was a system of rating and measurement, and you would write down what you listened to and who you listened to.
So it used to be called the diary system. And the diary system, the reason why names were so out there, it's that if you wrote down a name, if it stuck out to you, then you would get credit. So if my name was, let's say I'm a former Georgia quarterback, Joe Tarashinsky. If you can't write Joe Tarashinsky,
and who can,
then you're not going to get credit. So instead, I would become Joe T in the mornings.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Or I'd be, and my friend Matt Chernoff that we joked around about, he does afternoon drive down the dial from us. He said for years, he was like, I messed up. I should have been Matt Champion.
Especially with sports, it would have been perfect.
Matt Champion.
That was easy to remember.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. So there's your peek behind the kimono, if you will.
There you go. Now you know
what is going on.
I was going to say, right now, there's an NBC logo going over your head with a star going boom, boom, boom.
That's right. And now you know.
I'm looking at some of the best college football names for 2025 this year. We got Florida State wide receiver Squirrel White.
I love it. Love it. Squirrel White. Love it.
Over at Auburn, of course.
Hold on. Where's
QB?
Where's my favorite guy playing?
You're not talking about the Eastern Michigan linebacker, are you?
No, I'm talking about the coldest.
DeColdest Crawford.
I don't know, but Derelis Clark is at Kent State.
Okay, I'll take Derelis because DeColdest was my favorite because he went to Nebraska, which made total sense.
Yeah, it's freezing out there.
He's now at Louisiana Tech.
Which ain't the coldest.
Rice has a good wide receiver. It's Mobility.
Oh, what? No, it's not.
It is Mohbility.
Why in the world would you name your kid that?
That's not bad.
Purdue got a good wide receiver, Nitro Tuggle.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a former Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. He was at Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember. It's like, and you got to be fast. If his last name is like Speed or Nitro, you got to be quick.
Okay, what's Nitro's real name?
Is that a nickname?
I don't know.
These days, you don't know.
Is he relation to Jesse?
Hammer? I have no idea.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
If tight end for Colorado State, this might be my favorite, Rocky Beers.
Yeah, that's good.
In Colorado. I mean, that's...
Yeah, dude, head for the mountains. Come on, dude. Wait till the mountains are blue.
Nitarian.
And they just call him Nitro.
That's a good nickname, though, for that.
Yeah, for sure. At least that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, the coldest, you would think that would be a nickname, but no. Isn't that his real name? Isn't that dude's real name?
Yeah,
I think
the
it
coldest.
is. Yeah. I mean...
Like D.E. coldest.
Yeah.
The coldest.
He's the coldest.
It's cool. I love from the minute he signed at Nebraska, I'm like, it's the coldest.
I'm a little bit guilty. My son's middle name is Jet. And I had this grand dream that when he was going to play, T-ball or whatever, having Jet on the back of his jerseys, he's burning it down to first base. In my head, this all played out. It all made sense. And my wife wanted to name his middle name to be Thomas. And I was like, no way, man, we're going with Jet. I fought her on this. And I won.
Yeah, you did.
So it's Jacob Jet, not Jacob Thomas. So take that. All right, so I kind of fell into the trap. I guess I can't make fun of Dakota's too much.
Well, I mean, your middle name.
Well, my parents watched Sanford and Son a lot. They loved Sanford and Son. So much so that my middle name's Lamont. My brother's middle name was Lamar. And my sister's middle name is Siobhan. We have the
I'm not laughing. It's true.
No, it's true. But we're the whitest family in the world and have
Lamont.
Every one of our middle names are all black names.
And so then your son had to be Jet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But Sanford and Son to this day is still my favorite TV show. Me and Daddy used to watch it before the Braves game. I'm telling you, Red Fox may be one of the funniest comedians of all time. And he was so... He did not do his stand-up routine during Sanford and Son because he was not that reserved.
Yeah. He'd get out there with you.
God, he's so funny. As funny as he was on Sanford and Son, if you listen to his stand-up, it's even more funny.
So,
it's Eddie. It was the precursor to people like Eddie Murphy.
So now everyone is very fortunate because not only in the city of Atlanta have they given you a white Jerome and Jerome Jovanovich, but you also have a white Lamont.
Yeah, that's right.
In Lamont Cowart.
That's right.
Only in Atlanta have you been given that. You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. We just do the best we can. We try to take care of folks as best we can. Morning Xtra on Xtra 106.3.
Hate has no place here.
No, sir, it does not. We love everybody, for sure. You're always welcome. Even if you disagree with us, and I think that's so important. And you brought it up a minute ago that we talked to someone for an hour yesterday that does not share our political values, and we had a great conversation.
At all.
Had a great conversation.
And as we continued that conversation, the look on his face of, oh yeah, that's why I enjoy listening to you guys when I'm in town. I was like, yeah, okay,
thank you,
cool, thank you.
It was super cool, and to be honest, I never knew his political persuasion.
First time he's ever said anything.
He's ever
like that
opened up, the way he did.
And then as we were both talking about Bill Maher and I was pointing out the things that I enjoy about Bill Maher.
Yeah.
The look on his face of, so you guys play Bill Maher on your radio station?
Yes,
like all
we do.
the time.
And when it makes sense to. When he's saying something that's correct, absolutely. I don't have a problem giving people credit when they're right. I don't care what part of the aisle they're from. Like early this morning, we played Harold Ford Jr. He sounded like he's been listening to the show for 4 years.
He's like, stop making fun of him. It's not working when it came to Donald Trump. It's like, I keep telling you.
It's not helping him. Or it's not helping you as the Democrat Party. It's only helping him.
Is that not so different than what you get from Jessica Tarloff? And not to go after her in this way, but we talk about the difference in the two, and that she seems like she hurts the brand because of the way she goes about her arguments, whereas what you're getting from him is, I would say this, a little bit more reasoned in terms
level-headed.
In terms of I understand who the opponent is, and I'm telling you how we beat them. Tarloff is almost just like, all right, so this is what Maddow tells me to do.
Little brother syndrome is what
a little bit there
comes off. That's what Tarloff comes off to me. And Harold Ford Jr. comes off as a guy that genuinely wants what's best for the country. He may not agree with us on how we get there, but he's not a hothead. He's not going to say things that are obviously not true. Jessica Tarloff, unfortunately, will go with something that's not true and then have to delete the tweets after.
I feel like I'm getting the worst of X when she's making an argument.
No kidding. No kidding. That's exactly
that's what
right.
I feel like I get. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Her glasses are cool.
Yeah. And Joey Jones tells us that she's a really nice lady.
Yeah, heard nothing but nice things about her.
I just wish you had control of her emotions, but she doesn't. She gets so emotional about things and then just goes...
come by my house. Know a little something about sometimes those ladies who vote that way tend to get a little animated.
Well, you would know, knowing that your wife votes similarly to Jessica. But
sometimes they're ruled by their emotions.
And so are the effeminate men that you see on social media doing the exact same thing, just losing their cool. And I've look, there's plenty of times I've lost my cool in my time, but I try to be reasonable about most everything. I take no joy in saying I told you so. But there are those times where I have to go, didn't I already tell you this? Hadn't we already discussed this?
Didn't we already explain this one?
I felt like we talked about this before. But I guess, look, it keeps us in a job. People still need to hear it and are not getting it anywhere else. Definitely not in mainstream media. Do you want to save the autism report?
Yeah, like, you know what? We can do it tomorrow. Or we can do it next. Either one.
Why don't we do that? Let's do that. Because we talked about Cracker Barrel a whole bunch, and we can work in the meme if you want.
That's fine. Let's do it.
And we got plenty of time, so we'll cover that autism report that's coming out. Hopefully, we'll shed some light. Because look, my family is we have a lot of autism in there.
Mama said a lot of stuff about it over the years, and Mama might be getting a little bit more correct here.
Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, August 27th. The Atlanta Braves took the second game of their 3-game series against the Marlins in Miami last night, blowing them out late 11-2. The Braves scored 9 runs in the 9th inning to make the final inning a laugher. Today, the rubber game features a 1:10 afternoon start time. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. From the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons made a move to help out with the injuries on their offensive line yesterday, as the team sent a conditional 7th-round draft choice to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for tackle Michael Jarrell. The Falcons will start the season without their starting right tackle Caleb McGarry and his primary backup. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guests are FBI Special Agent in Charge Paul Brown and FBI Special Agent Charles Orgbon Jr. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not meet us than meet us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine, sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever, Roddy, at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
This Friday night, the buzz is back.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackets.
Georgia Tech kicks off their 2025 campaign on the road in Colorado as Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets face off against the Colorado Buffaloes.
Jackets stress the lead.
The Ramblin' Wreck kickoff show hits the air at 6 p.m., followed by an 8 p.m. kick from Folsom Field. Hear it live in Atlanta on Extra 106.3 FM and streaming across the South on the Extra 106.3 app.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Promises made, promises kept. The president is making the economy great again. He's securing the border for America's safety, and the mainstream media still wants to tear him down.
The media wants Donald Trump to fail. That's their goal. That's how they'll report his progress.
But we know the truth, and we give you the perspective that other stations won't. Atlanta's only conservative voice is Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10. I've told this story a few times where I was in kindergarten and they sent me home a couple times and said after the second time, do not bring this kid back to school until he has all of his vaccines. Mama was not keen on the idea. She finally did give in, but it was because they twisted her arm. Now, she tells me, because I have an adopted sister, that she believes, and she's told me this for years, that my adopted sister who has autism, it was brought on by a vaccine. She believes it with all that is her, Los.
To the point where you've talked about it on this radio station, this radio show. For years, you discounted that from your mother because of what the history is, what you've always been told, what you've been told, what crazy people think. And now we're getting to a point where the discussion is actually happening. Part of the cabinet meeting yesterday was, and again, because he's part of it with Health and Human Services, was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And outside of getting getting crazy food dyes out of your food, getting cancer-causing agents, out of your food, some of the other things they've talked about is, well, what if we start ending pharmaceutical advertisements of television? Would then you get a better, straighter view of the pharmaceutical industry? Because Big Pharma pays for much of cable news, which is why you'll never see an ad or a story like bashing
commentary
anything they're doing.
None of it.
They will at no point tell you, hey, this drug just got pulled off the market. Here's the issue. Here's the problem. Here's what it caused. You're just not going to get that story. Well, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. went a step further when it came to the cabinet meeting yesterday, and he talked about a report that they're going to have out next month. It's going to be a bombshell, in my opinion. Take a listen to what he told Donald Trump's coming.
Bobby, autism, if I could, I don't want to go too long because we have a lot of people, but the autism is such a tremendous horror show, what's happening in our country and some other countries, but mostly our country. How are you doing on that?
We are doing very well. We will have announcements as promised in September. We're finding certain interventions now that are clearly, almost certainly causing autism. And we're going to be able to address those in September.
Now, when he says interventions, is he referring to vaccines? Is he referring to products? Is he referring to medication? Like, this could be...
Or it could be all of them.
Could be an entire mix. So he was tasked with this. Like, why do we have autism and the rates previously at 1 in 10,000 and now it's like 1 in 28? And that's an explosion that doesn't make any sense outside of we're putting more stuff into kids earlier than we ever have. And what is it causing? So I'm looking forward to this, in part because this won't affect me, and neither one of my kids is autistic. But what about the grandkids? What about that next group of kids? How do we get that number? Because the lie has always been, Tug, well, the only reason that your sister's autistic is because we're better at diagnosing it.
Mm-hmm. That's what they'll tell you.
That's what they'll tell you. That's the reason why there's more.
You know who don't believe that? My sweet mama.
Yeah.
She does not believe it at all. And she has told me she said, I knew days, weeks after a particular vaccine, and I would have to go back and ask her which one it was. She was like, I saw a change. And I was just reading a tweet. It's a dude named Harry Fisher, and it just says, my autistic son that I saw changed post-vaccine looked at me, and the best he could say was, I love you, knowing... the best I could say is I love you, knowing that I allowed him to be damaged because of these vaccines. It makes me so angry. I'm not only mad at myself, but those who push for this damage. There's a lot of people that believe like my mama does.
So I hope there's some clarity that comes out of this, that at least there's some markers that maybe it makes a change to the pediatric industry. Like one of the changes that we had the benefit of is our pediatrician that we still go to. We still send, even as my girls are getting older, like that's the pediatric physician they go to. And one of their stances was, we're not doing these all at once. That was, we're not doing these all at once.
Yeah.
It's like now it's the pain for the parent that, hey, I got to come up here this many times. But isn't that better if we know that there's some sort of risk associated with these multitude of chemicals in the body all at once?
Ain't no parent going to go, it's too much trouble.
Sure.
There's nothing that's too much trouble for your kids. Nothing. Yeah. I can't think of anything that I wouldn't do to preserve the health of my son. Zero.
And I think that ends up being the whole catch here, is that most parents are all about, I'd say 99.9% of parents are like, what do I got to do for my kid?
That's right.
So to not have this information and yet your child has a change and it's autism, you can't tell me we're just better at diagnosing it. I think that's a joke. I think that's a complete joke. And so I'm very curious to see what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to say. Here's a combination, or here's what we're seeing, or here's the marker that tells us this is where this is happening. And considering how many more times it's happening than what it was 30, 40 years ago, there got to be a correlation there that Big Pharma does not want to have made. There's no way.
most transparent administration in the history of America. This Trump administration, to sit in front of the media 3.5 hours. Give me another president that was willing to do it or could do it. I don't know of one. As much as I love Reagan, I don't remember him doing that.
And then we're going to have to go back to Reagan-era politics. And we're going to have to look at, all right, we gave the big pharmaceutical industry, gave them carte blanche. We gave them the ability to create whatever they want to create in terms of vaccinations. And now, yes, there's a pool of money that's put aside if you're ever injured, but they can't be sued. Could you imagine if data comes out that says, here are the markers, here's what's causing this in a certain amount of people, and here's the reason why. And that then has all those parents going, I want to go after this industry. And you're told, well, listen, they passed a law in 88 and you can't do it.
Sorry.
Here's your pool of money.
Yeah, here's what you get.
Here's $1,000.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Do you think? Oh my! How insulting!
And we can change it. We can change those laws.
We need to.
But the industry will always tell us, well, if you do that, then there's no incentive for us to study this stuff or come up with new vaccines. And the push might be, we don't need any.
That's right. I feel like the ones that we have that have eradicated disease that clearly work, let's use them. Let's use them in, like you said, not in huge groups. Let's do this in a smart way. I just don't care about these companies because I don't think they care about you or your kids.
You want to have your hair blown back? There's a book I can give you. I've actually got it in my Amazon cart, and it's been in there for like 4 or 5 months. It's one of those where it's like every time you're like, oh, I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
I'll get around to it. And the particular woman who wrote it, it's based on when polio was busting out, and then polio was going away. You had, the salt vaccine. This is what caused it. It took care of polio. There is just as many indications that it had to do with cleanliness and better running water.
I've heard that before.
Yes.
And so there's a whole book.
And the vaccine sweeps in and says, it was us. We're the ones who did it. It's like, well, let's have a talk.
Dr. Nicole Sapphire, who I have a lot of respect for, she said in a tweet regarding the information that's coming out, she said, look, we've spent billions of dollars. We don't need to spend more money. We need to sift through the data, which is exactly what RFK Jr. is talking about, and Donald Trump is giving him the ability to do. Think about all these people that I mean, they don't even agree altogether politically. That's the magic of what I think the Trump administration is.
Yeah.
Like, you have people that have different thoughts. I mean, you see it. You saw it with the signal leak and the debate, the robust debate about, do we bomb? Do we do this? Do we go after the Houthis? They have robust debate. And you hear Donald Trump talking about RFK. It was like, we're going to keep him away from the climate stuff. We're going to keep him focused. Because they don't agree there.
I love it. Think about it. J.D. Vance. What is J.D. Vance at his heart? He grew up as a white trash kid with a drug-addicted mom, and look what he's accomplished. You can go over to RFK Jr., total insider who becomes an outsider because of what his stance was on vaccines and the work he's done trying to clean up the environment. Tulsi Gabbard was actually called a Russian agent and then was put on we have to observe her when she gets on planes. Pete Hegseth was, he's a drunk.
And just a weekend host.
He's just a weekend host of a TV show and a drunk.
No ability.
And every single one you go through, there's that element of outsider, system disruptor. Like, awesome.
But then throw the transparency on top of it.
Yes.
You couldn't ask for much more. You could not ask for much more. You got to appreciate a 3.5 hour open cabinet meeting that we've never seen before.
I think Marco Rubio might be the most squared away guy, and I thought it was funny yesterday when he talked about, this is a special Labor Day for me because I have 4 jobs.
4 jobs. That's great.
Good line, Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a smart dude. That'll do it for us. Beck is up next for Los and Dre. I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
And local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.